they will be coming soon. Okay, we are live. So let's go ahead and get into our recap. Who wants to go first?
Started out as a quiet night.
Yeah.
And then there was an explosion. And then that's where we started. After the explosion.
Almost
And
in the midst of the explosion.
yeah, that's true. It was in the aftermath. And we
We're kind
a
of
lot of
just
stuff
watching.
happened.
Yeah, we're just kind of watching what's happening, and then Gus is nervously telling us, "It's like, okay, I have to. I typically there are grenades that I have on my person, and we find out under his mattress, under his bed, in some degree, some of which are missing. We also find out that they match some sort of like color, like the
Profile, yeah.
flame, profile of the explosions. All this with the fire giants and the other autonomes bearing down on us. So now we're at a point where we just need to consider this inspection of our ship. We do our best to cover for them, but they ended up finding a grenade anyway, outside of
Suspiciously.
Suspiciously outside of his own person, amidst our own ordnance. So we're kind of hauled up in this tribunal before the King of Fire Giants, Uldor, I believe. Zunder.
Zunder. Filder is the guy with the headache.
Yes.
Who
doesn't remember seeing us at
Yeah.
Casino.
Mm-hmm. They don't like cats at the tribunal. We found out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially cats that are actually druids shapeshifted.
Yeah.
Which they pretty quickly
Especially-
figured out.
The ones that are made of metal and wood.
Yeah. We should have seen that one coming.
That's true. Toad does their best to blend in, but they went back to the ship and did a little evidence gathering while the rest of the team was defending Gus, doing some fact finding on their end. Found some long black hair that could belong to a lot of people. Also took a sneaky look at the Brayless ship, where it seems like a couple of Warforged one of them was being repaired by another in the captain's quarter, which is suspicious.
So we questioned Fuldor, and they put up their own version of the Zone of Truth, which allows for some mixed results in the midst of definite truths or lies. And right now we're in a position of whether or not Gus is we're going to I think we settle on not putting him up within the Zone of Truth, because he was concerned he could not account for that time. So right now there's some suspicion of memory or mind modification taking place. How many people can do that on this plane?
At the very least, Gus can't shake the thought that could have happened. That means that he can't definitively say that he didn't do it, which would clear him and exonerate him. We're learning a lot about Gus. Gus has many layers, and one thing is that he is very concerned of mind control, apparently.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Also, he's bad with putting and securing his armaments.
Yeah.
Really dangerous collection of grenades under his bed.
We've all got our quirks.
Probably Toad doesn't have like gallons of poison.
It's just sloshing around somewhere. Oh, and we importantly learned that Rick hates Valerian.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that was a truth.
Because the circle does the like blue flames if it's a half truth,
Yeah.
or if your subconscious doesn't.
Yeah, that was.
It also was maybe a little bit of a, weird DM mishap
Yeah,
too.
that seems more accurate. But we'll play off that if you want to.
But now we roll because
Now it's canon.
with freshly dried eyes.
It just means that
Valerian-
at some point, Rick has hated something that Valerian did, which is accurate.
Yeah, who hasn't?
which
Yeah.
honestly hurts the most.
Yeah. Hey, Valerian, don't charge that front line. Damn it, Valerian!
Valerian, don't get seduced by the angel again. Oh, Valerian.
God damn it, Val. Okay. That was a good recap. Everybody take inspiration. I will give you a brief recap of the hearing itself. This preliminary hearing on determination of pretrial confinement and or whether or not a confinement even needs to be adjudicated or a trial itself needs to be adjudicated. So you've called. Typically, what you're interfering from this hearing is that physical evidence is introduced and then witness testimony is presented, and we'll see what goes after that. So you have just finished the evidence presentations of the prosecution on this side, or the aggrieved party, if you will. So we pan away from Toad and their investigative sleuthing into some of the potential clues that might lead to who really did this or not. Chief Gus is unsure. But as we can't pan the camera back to the Hall of King Zundor, the king of the fire giants, who sits on his massive throne. They're all feeling a little bit small, surrounded by these tall fire giants that seem to radiate heat. Not seem, fully radiate heat. Some distance needs to be maintained. You survey around you. You see the attitudes of those who have heard, witnessed, and heard the testimony and seen the evidence. Commander Hulk seems stressed and frustrated, but presenting an aura of calm demeanor as the obvious lead of security of this area, of this town, this city. You see the gift that he represents, specifically the leader, barely holding in rage-induced outbursts, and is, when he is speaking to Commander Hawk, there is a shout whisper that can constantly be heard of him recommending specific testimony or recommending that Commander Hulk do more. Commander Hulk is politely agreeing, but it's sometimes ignoring the second lieutenant gift commander who faces against you as the aggrieved party. Corporal Finlinson, one of the gift NCOs, sits by, as similar to Apocalypse on your previous encounter with the gift, with his codes of regulations, almost like an assistant of law. And you see Forge Master Zund, seemingly uncaring, ready to be done. You see a tired look on his eyes as the sun is cresting above the horizon of this moon. And so this is early into the morning when this hearing is occurring. Duke Zalto appears, a sense of authoritative presence in the room, He seems aggrieved, but also neutral in trying to understand the facts. And lastly, you have your audience, which is the Brailish, which are doing their best to hide their slight smiles of their slight smiles of amusement, seeing their rivals facing this king in disciplinary matters. They seem very pleased that you all are facing somebody else's judgment. What you can interpret from that is what you will.
We gotta kill him.
So, as we return now to this scene, King Zundor speaks in his low baritone voice. I have heard testimony of the witness on site, and I have the evidence that has been presented to me by the aggrieved party. Commander Hawk, is there any evidence further that the aggrieved party wishes to provide on this matter? Commander Hawk turns to Lieutenant Cromwell, who is whispering and pointing at the circle, and Commander Hawk is slowly nodding his head in a negative response. He turns back to King Zundor. No further evidence at this time, my king. However, should a trial be ordered, we may have additional evidence to present. Very well, Commander. Defense. Chief Gus, have you any additional evidence to present at this time?
Well, do we have anything else? Do you guys have any ideas, really?
Evidence?
No evidence. It's so
well,
early.
people could call, maybe things that we can do in... it seems like this is something just to see if there should be a trial. If Gus should be prime suspect, right? So, is there anything that we can...
The problem is he is going to be the prime suspect at this rate. We can make a character case for Gus that he wouldn't do this kind of thing. He doesn't have a motive, but as far as physical evidence, I don't know.
If you want to speak to him as, speak to his character as, as his captain. But otherwise, I think we'd be attempting to prove a negative.
Yeah, and I also don't think the king will hear it, right? It seems like whenever we try to talk about Yuldir's memory, it was dismissed as irrelevant to the exact scenario. I think it would be more relevant in an actual trial, but we don't want to get there.
If anything, if we have the opportunity, we should ask to see, if there are any leads among them. If we want to chase the notion that Gus is, being targeted or is being manipulated, who would have incentives to do so and has the means?
Or we just put... yes, I think that's actually perfect. I shouldn't say or. That is amazing. And I think the way that we do that is by shifting maybe not the blame, but the possibility of blame to something else. And as you said, that the biggest enemy, the reason they have this cannon on their ship in the first place is because they were at a constant war with the cephalopods, right?
That seems true from everything we've seen about them.
So who would have more motive and more opportunity than a creature that can teleport in and out and blow things up, explode heads even, Maybe we just ask the corporal, maybe we put the corporal on and we ask about procedures, maybe what they were doing if at the time of the incident, and ask if they have any known enemies. And I think at that
Or
point they
maybe
have to say what the issue is.
we could ask, what sort of security precautions they've taken place. Is it warded against teleportation? Are there records? Or anyone who could attest to someone who would have had access at that time?
Yeah, because if we do say that their security is top notch, right? How would Gus be able to get even on the ship to put, what they say, 3 grenades inside the cannon? It'd be impossible, right? I think that's a good plan. I just it's like before, I'll shoot from the hip. Okay,
Yep.
If it sounds bad, just stop me, and or if when I'm done, you have some more, go for it.
Wait, Captain. You're still hungover.
I am very hungover. Yeah, it's not good. In fact,
this is above the table? I forgot. Does lesser restoration cure that, or
it does.
Poison?
That's what we use for
He's
Signet.
poisoned. Yeah, I think that's.
Okay.
I think that qualifies. Reading of the
I don't know if it is like a hangover or specific. Yeah, he's just poisoned because of the drink. Okay. I want to cast lesser restoration on him.
Okay.
Yep.
Amazing.
I should have done that earlier.
Sorry. Do you have a means to cast that? Does it require?
Because our stuff is taken.
It's
That's
via.
right.
So it's verbal and somatic. We don't need
Oh,
materials.
there's no materials, so
Yeah,
you're good, right?
fine, I think. I don't think you need focus to do it.
Because the focus replaces materials
Right.
Yeah.
in most cases.
So I will allow it in this thing.
Nice.
Yeah, some
Amazing.
stuff.
I will take off.
Yes, you are no longer poisoned. And it's a non-issue in the hearing itself. They understand that you've already identified yourself as a doctor. We'll skip over the part where you narratively explain to the trial that this is what you're doing. They're fine with it.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, can I sober up my captain real quick?
Ooh,
All right.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I feel great. Okay. I'll step up. Game smalls. I will. I'll step up. Your Majesty, if we can call one of our call a witness. Our first witness. I think that's how it goes. It would be the accuser, the Corporal Finlinson.
Corporal Finlinson is the assistant to the accuser, Second Lieutenant Alpheus Cromwell. Corporal Finlinson. Yes, King. Are you willing and prepared to take the stand? Moment to consult with my leadership, sir. Good. They step off to the side for a moment and have a brief discussion. There's some nods of approval. He approaches the middle. I'm prepared to take the stand, King. Excellent. Defense? Is this unaided testimony, or would you rather have him step into the flame of truth?
I think in all fairness, I think all witnesses should step in the flame of truth. I think the court understands, His Majesty understands exactly how to take the trickle of blue flame, if there is any doubt in their answer, with however much salt fire giants take, I guess.
Understood. Corporal? He gets a head nod from his lieutenant, and he steps into the center of the fire. And there's a slight pulsation of that fire as it begins to activate.
Valerian starts walking, kind of standing straight, hands behind him, clasped. Corporal Finlinson, I just want to establish kind of what happened from your perspective and your view as you were maintaining the ship. Let me just understand your position on the ship. What exactly are you in charge of?
Yes, sir. As corporal under the 343rd Patrol Brigade, I primarily handle the training and equipment of the general privates assist Lieutenant Cromwell with his duties as his assistant, and generally maintain the morale of the ship. I imagine that you could equate me to what you would understand under your ship as a first mate.
Oh, amazing. I do understand that you have a very complicated and, in fact, an encyclopedia almost of rules and sections and guides. But I guess let's talk specifically on the night. What happened? What were your duties on that night, and what happened from your perspective?
On
night, to be specific.
On the night of the sabotage of our ship, I was overseeing the private guard duty, checking to ensure that the patrols were in order and that the security cordon around our ship was being maintained. I was present on the dock, not on the ship physically, when I observed the explosion on the ship itself.
And your duties were specifically to help the privates?
Correct.
That night?
The 343rd Patrol Brigade is a relatively new brigade. These privates are in training status. As their certified trainer, I am to ensure that their patrol statuses and setting up a cordon is properly certified in their training documents. I would occasionally go around and quiz them on specific regulations to ensure that they understand their roles and responsibilities, and occasionally have them report to me a post-briefing of their roles and responsibilities while on post.
Would you say that you do a good job? Would you say that these recruits are well trained?
I believe that they are dedicated to the cause, and that should they continue with their training, they will be fantastic soldiers.
Amazing.
Everything you said so far is indicated as the truth. I will tell you if something indicates a lie.
Okay. I actually completely forgot about it too. Amazing. So that would mean that the ship should be perfectly guarded, especially while docked. Is that right?
In normal circumstances, yes. However, these privates are not equipped with specific magical detection devices, so we are on a operational security level 3, which should an individual be unable to detect by normal sight or other similar types of magical infiltration, these privates have not been trained on more advanced means of detection. That is it further in their training.
Interesting. Have you been trained on that? On the means of detection of any invisible combatants or combatants that can use the arcane?
I am certified on various detection equipment magical items, yes.
And on this night, was there any...
I love it. And I'm pacing in real life.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just like a visual for me. So you would say, on this night tonight, were there any invisible combatants that you detected with your, obviously, if you're certified in it, you're training it, you would detect anyone in your vicinity that is invisible in any capacity. Is that right?
If I had had the equipment, I would have put it in use in the guard shifts.
Amazing.
However,
and
that equipment has not been, the requisition order for that equipment has not been fulfilled to the 343rd Patrol Brigade.
So he's saying that they don't have the means of detecting someone who's invisible.
Or other magical infiltration.
Can you ask him, specifically, what does he think happened? How could this happen? Does he really think someone invisible did this? Is the only way that could happen? Maybe ask him that question.
So, Corporal, from your perspective, then, of course, without that piece of equipment might be harder for you to detect invisible or magical beings of some sort, but I assume that it wouldn't be impossible. But I would ask, from your perspective, who could have got past you and blew up your ship that you were in charge of protecting?
In attempts to remain objectionable, I will speculate. It pleases the court. He looks at the king. I'll allow it, Corporal. As the representative of the accused, I'll allow speculation. Yes, well, could be a multitude of factors. Obviously, without the detection equipment to identify invisible personnel, that is one of the more likely means of infiltration because of our inability to respond to such details. However, I would be remiss as to not say that it is possible that our privates in training were not properly maintaining their assigned field of vision. I glanced over to the lieutenant, who's like growing angry. And
Interesting.
if that were the case, then it's possible a non-magically cloaked individual could have made it past the guards under the light conditions here at the docks. There's a noticeable lack of light outside of the ships themselves, and a few small Everbright lanterns on the dock themselves. That was a complaint that was given to me by some of the privates. However, we did not have the material to properly enlighten our cordon to a degree that is satisfiable. A issue was raised, but due to command decisions, we thought it best to reserve the lights that we did have on hand to remain inside the ship for critical efficiency structures.
Yeah, the pencil pushers didn't want to pay for lights.
Lie.
Oh. Now, what was the lie there? Interesting. You got to figure that out. You got to figure out what was the lie in that case.
Interesting. Corporal, are you telling me? Let's just break this down a little bit, piece by piece. Okay.
Well, so actually, before you say this, does the corporal notice that? The corporal knows that he just got
Corporal
caught
knows.
in a lie, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Ooh.
gotcha. Okay, keep going.
Ooh.
He's looking.
Can I look at Rick?
Yeah.
And just say, like, actually, I'll say.
You can always take a pause to speak with your other.
Yeah, I will say. Let me just take 1 second. So I will resume questioning, and I'll come back.
With counsel,
Listen,
Yeah.
Rick. I'll take. Just keep an eye. We saw the blue, right?
Yeah. Not everyone did.
What was it? So I wonder if you can keep an eye on him and see whenever he's talking what part maybe he's tripping up on or just keep an eye on him.
Absolutely.
Keep an eye on his facial expressions, his mannerisms, things like that. Okay, I'll try to grill him. I'm gonna try to get a little bit more aggressive. But if either of you have questions, even in the middle of me questioning, just step up and ask. I would say.
At this
100%.
point, he must have known. He spoke something untrue. We can ask him, straightforward.
Oh. Well, he could say I don't know as well, right? So it's kind of a cop-out answer. But
there are indicators for degrees of gray information. But he was simply caught out in a lie.
I think we tried to make him almost recite it, at least piece by piece, and we see what turns blue, and you see on his face what's a lie. Okay,
We can do that.
All right. Any burning questions I'm missing? I need to ask.
Well, right now,
I'm feeling myself right now. After the hangover is gone, it's just
doing great. You're doing
a
great.
whole new world.
I'm cooking.
we'll keep an eye on him. I'll step up if I have any questions
Okay.
or if I have any suggestions for you. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on the dude. And yeah, just ask him. Go through the details he told you, bit by bit, and maybe because he knows he screwed up.
You're right.
See if he tries to restate anything, and try to make it.
And then
less of a
that's
lie.
the part that exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. GM, was it a really blue flame or was it a little sputter?
It was a mix. It was not a super strong lie. It was a... Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna... it's really a no lie, strong lie, or maybe subconscious
binge,
or
right?
partial. Yeah.
Yeah. Some doubt or either doubt or he's like half telling the truth.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. I will step back up here.
Rick is staring at Corporal Finlayson.
Go ahead. I'm assuming you want to insight check him.
Yeah, I'll insight check him for the next couple things he says. I think is the idea.
Go ahead and roll that insight. I'll take... Are you doing something similar? What are you doing?
I think he wants to make it more susceptible. I think like Altaik wants to like try intimidating him, just like burn a like.
Okay. Yeah,
like,
go
just
ahead.
Unblinkingly, like be like, like like
Roll
watch
eye contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Roll me an intimidation check.
Oh,
The insight was private for the record.
Yes, I see it.
Well, that intimidation check is good.
That's
that's
massive.
Mm-hmm.
You just got a lot of charisma though. 13 is not amazing.
That's
it's just
cheating.
Plus 7, plus 8. Yeah.
True.
I'll tell you, it got Riz, y'all. Okay.
Mhm.
You may proceed, counsel.
All right. Corporal, are you aware that there was maybe even in your subconscious a bit of doubt in your last statement?
That is what the Circle of Truth has indicated, yes?
Now, let's kind of break this down here a little bit, Corporal. You said to me that these recruits, under your watch, your training, your specific training, with your certification to see and hear and find any invisible or cloaked or stealth or hidden people, especially in means of a critical mission as your ship safety, really. You said to me that everything was in tip-top, except for the equipment, right? Is that a fair statement, Corporal?
I would contest that, being that these privates are still training in progress, that they are not up to my standards of certification. So, as individuals in training, I would say that they are developing well. However, as they are not certified, it is common and unsurprising that these privates do tend to make mistakes in their upgrade certifications and in their duties, which is why I am typically more involved in the day-to-day operations of the privates in order to catch and correct these errors.
Ask him specifically about what he said when it came to the equipment they needed to light up the dock, right?
Yeah. Okay.
If ask him to restate, like, that's what he was truthful, what he said about that.
Corporal, the statement you had made earlier about the equipment to notice any invisible or magical or beings of arcane. Did you tell the truth whenever you gave me your statement on that? On if the equipment was on your ship or where you had access to it or how that happened? Yes or no?
I believe that I gave a...
Yes or no, please.
No. Defense counsel? What would you like to know?
Do you have this equipment on your ship right now?
Which
Corporal?
equipment specifically are you referring to?
The means to see invisible creatures.
No, we haven't been provided that. The requisition has not been filled. That's what I said earlier.
And
Nope.
is it blue at all?
No, he's telling the truth.
Mm.
When he's speaking about the invisibility detecting devices, he's telling the truth.
Yeah, but he also talked about remember he was also talking about specifically the possibility that someone who wasn't invisible could have gotten on the ship because it was dark and they didn't have the
Right, the
light,
ever
like
bright
the
lights and
actual
stuff.
well the actual yeah, just like literal lights, you know. So that's the part where in his testimony that it started flickering. So ask him to restate that again. So the possibility that someone could have snuck on the ship because it was dark out, he mentioned that he was not given permission, or he wasn't given like the resources to light up the dock in the right way. Ask him to restate that and let's figure out which part of that was a lie.
Yeah, yeah, I'll say that. Do you mind restating your statement about the lights on the ship, and if there was any possibility of a not invisible but stealth individual, hidden individual, sneaky person getting on the ship? Just walk me through that part of your statement.
Being that the dock and the exterior, and being on the exterior of the ship was not lit to the specifications normally required in the regulations under protection level 3 of patrol brigade assets. It is possible that my privates who are still in training could have missed someone. Yes. And obviously, whether invisible or not, they did. Because somebody blew up our ship.
Did you miss anyone, Corporal? You said you were there tonight. You said you were helping the recruits during their daily duties. Did you miss anyone intentionally or unintentionally?
I believe I've been meaning to bring up that I may have seen an individual after the explosion, but my recollection of the appearance of that individual is scattered as I was being thrown to the deck of the ship by the wave of the explosion. I was going to mention it to Commander Hulk in the investigation, but I did see a reflection of metal fleeing the ship, whether that be invisibility that dropped off that individual, or that individual managed to make it past my privates due to the lighting conditions. I cannot speak of.
Any blue?
No.
So the lie must have been okay, unless I'm mistaken, unless I'm misremembering this. The lie must have been about not being able to requisition lighting, right?
Yeah. So, and I'll give you your insight check now.
Yeah.
You're getting the insight check. So
Okay.
You're getting the sensation that Corporal. Your best guess is that Corporal Quinlinson brought up the issue of the lighting being a security concern and was shut down by his lieutenant. Gotcha.
So he was trying to smooth it over and say it in a nice way, but in actuality, I think what Rick is going to assume here is that he blames the lieutenant to an extent, but doesn't want to say that out loud.
Yes, you can incite that.
Okay.
Interesting. But that still was a really good line of questioning because it got us to this like mysterious last glimpse of a person.
Yeah, Rick will step up at the mention of that. Captain, can I ask a question?
Of course. Take the stand.
Well, I mean, we could both stand here. Okay, fine. Leave me alone. It's fine. Oh boy, again, performance anxiety. Yes. Okay, about this person you may have saw trying to leave the ship. Did they look at all like Chief Gus does now? I'm gonna point to Chief Gus.
The figure, as the lighting conditions were not up to protection level 3, denied me an accurate description more than there was a metallic shoulder that seemed to gleam in the reflection of the remaining fire I could opine that your chief, if he's wearing the same attire that he normally wears, has metallic shoulder pads. However, I cannot confirm nor deny that it was directly the individual standing here before me. All true.
Okay.
Based off of that evidence alone. However, I think you and I well know that your defendant is the one that is normally in possession of the device used to sabotage the ship.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Well, it's not really.
Am I allowed to? I'll take. Am I allowed to object to a witness statement? I don't know if I'm allowed to do that.
Sustained. Corporal Finlinson,
Nice.
please answer the questions directed to you.
You're allowed to object whenever.
Yeah, you can say objection whenever you want. It doesn't not necessarily going to be a sustained one.
It's amazing.
I know it makes you feel powerful.
Power!
Corporal Finlayson, I actually want to ask you more directly. So, what precisely do you think happened that night? If you think it was Chief Gus, can you tell me why you think Gus did this and how?
You're asking me to speculate, correct?
I'm asking you to speculate. Go ahead.
As I was not the one to compile the report that was provided here today, I can only base it off of my perceptions of the quality of my crew and the report that was provided in this trial that I have had a momentary opportunity to review. I believe the evidence points to Chief Gus, your defendant, in that there was some sort of infiltration means to sabotage the ship and damage our primary means of offensive warfare in our patrols. Can't say I know why, as we have had no interactions in the past. However, we would not be. Our privates have no thoughts of subterfuge of our own ships, and we have had cordial working relations with the fire giants and the autonomes. We've had no interactions with the British. I'm not aware of any interactions that our patrol brigade has had with you and yours.
So, we can't really establish a motive then. Maybe we can place some physical evidence that Chief Gus possesses the same types of grenades that blew up your cannon, but you don't know why he did it, if he did it, correct?
That is correct. I am basing my suspicions on the physical evidence and testimony provided of my crew and those that were present at it.
Do your people have any I mean, I guess maybe we should just ask this question then. You have that gigantic cannon. Is there some species that you're at war with that would be more incentivized to make this sabotage?
Or incentivized? I can't speculate on that. However, it is well known that the 343rd Patrol Brigade serves the GIF Armada, which is currently in open conflict with the aberrant race known as the Mind Flayers. This is a known conflict.
I have to apologize. We obviously already knew that. We just wanted to get it stated for the record in the court.
Very well.
And we know that because we've actually met with some of your people before. We made good friends with a certain captain of another ship, in fact.
Oh?
Yeah, I'll step up a little bit.
Yep, go ahead.
Listen, are you familiar, perhaps, with Sergeant Major Orson Themel of the 716th Marine Regiment?
No.
Apocalypse.
The
He is not fit
apocalypse.
for command! You hear
shit.
Lieutenant Cromwell holler out. Corporal goes quiet for a moment. I have heard of this individual in his regiment, yes? What of it?
Corporal, if you don't mind, you have, of course, as most people in your position, the equivalent of a first mate, you have the the rule book, the sections on hand, available to you and most of your crew at all times. Is that right?
It is correct. I am required by code to contain all regulations of the GIF Armada, Manual 21-201, Administration of Military Justice in Times of Combat, and Military Operations.
Okay, yep.
And are you aware of the section, and you can feel free to pull out your book if the court allows it, are you aware of Emergency C-Section 7-2-2-2, requiring emergency aid for all GIF personnel operating in a hostile environment?
That is right, isn't it? That you wrote that fucking reg down.
Right.
Take inspiration.
God damn, dude.
Oh,
Take inspiration.
Don't worry, I got more. Sorry. By the way, what's the max for inspiration? I got 3. Is that max, right?
It's the max your proficiency bonus. So whatever.
Okay. Yeah. I just with that extra one. Anyway,
okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Yeah, I'm cooking over here.
I am generally aware of that provision. Let me reference it real quick, if that pleases the court. The king nods, and he pulls out his regulation. Yes, the temporary provision of mercenary individuals in a time of crisis. What?
Interesting. And while you have the book open, do you mind going to paragraph 13.22, subsection D, where it says the mercenaries conscription or mercenary conscripts can be requisitioned by GIF with no significant secrets being revealed?
I am generally aware of that provision, yes.
Are you aware that we, the Dragonhawk, Gus especially, were a part of that section, of the subsection?
We were
requisitioned. Yeah. Are you aware that we were requisitioned by the Apocalypse?
The GIF regulations on such matters are seldom used, except in times of crisis. As we have been in port for some time, we have not received our daily updates into matters of this level of importance. While it may have been incredibly important at the nature and time of the incident that you assisted Apocalypse Themel, it is flagged as low importance in terms of patrol brigade operations. So we would have received something of that nature at a later date. So if that is the case, I cannot verify that information. However, given that you've stated the requisite subparagraphs from memory, I will commend you on that, Captain. I'm inclined to understand that this is something that occurred at some point in time in recent history.
Okay, that's good. I could further ask about if you are aware of the ship that Sergeant Major Apocalypse runs was recently swallowed by a Kandori. If you were, I can ask those questions, but it seems like we are on the same page and that you are of the understanding that we were requisitioned by Sergeant Major Apocalypse to help his brigade and effectively get him out of the Kandori. Is that right? Or should I ask more questions?
If that is the case, without seeing the report myself, I cannot verify that. But it is entirely plausible, given what your description of the service. However, you should know that your emergency conscription on the matter would have been relinquished and
of course
would have been placed in an inactive status pending the conclusion of immediate hostilities that required your assistance.
Well, I am, for one, if I can say, I am glad to have served the 716th Marine Regiment and by extension, your cause. I am happy to have done that, and so is Gus, so is Rick here, and Altea. And what I will say is this, has it ever happened that a sergeant major, a team that a sergeant major has conscripted as a mercenary to help them in times of great need? Has it ever happened that that mercenary group has then blown up a separate ship or had motive to do so?
Put a fine point on it. I mean, it just doesn't seem likely. At least we've established the plausibility that we've helped the GIF in the past, and therefore established the implausibility that we would just decide to suddenly sabotage a GIF ship in the further past that point. And I think, at the very least, these statements in the court should cast some doubt on the motives of Chief Gus in this matter.
Not only that, I think that it's very blaringly obvious who can create an explosion with their minds that is a direct enemy to you. So, Corporal, I will say, frankly, it is heartbreaking, if not disrespectful, that you would think that Gus would have anything to do with your cannon. And I will step back.
Your service to Apocalypse is irrelevant to the hearing of your chief.
Objection. Chirping.
Yeah, chirping.
Commander, please remind your represented party to remain silent unless giving testimony. Yes, Mike. Commander glares back at Lieutenant Cromwell.
All right. Corporal, you've been very helpful. Captain, you got any more questions for him?
I just walked off like it was like really important. I was like filled with adrenaline. Any more questions? Any more questions?
I think we got it, but we need that.
I think so. I think so. Well, let me just establish one more thing. Corporal,
it's okay. Here we go.
Did you have you said that you haven't had any interaction with the Brailish? Does that include any of the people here today in the audience? You have not had any interaction, whether a talk or a hello, anything with these people? Is that correct?
There may have been a glancing nod and greeting in passing in the docks, but outside of that, I have not had any conversations with who you have labeled as the Brailish representative, who I assume to be the other ship present at the docks. No.
Okay. And just my final question. You didn't personally blow up your own ship in spite of your cause. Is that right?
No, Captain.
Thank you.
I'll take. You got any questions for him?
Oh, I feel like we end on a high note.
All right. I guess we relinquish him to the prosecution.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Prosecution? Turns back to Lieutenant Cromwell. No, Your Majesty. Finlayson, you may step down. Thank you. Defense.
That was a good witness.
Any additional evidence that you wish to present in this preliminary hearing?
I don't know. I think that's the best we can do.
Do we have any physical evidence of maybe did they say the mind flares? That's kind of a weird name. Did they say anything about, or do we have any any remnants of their ship when we were at their ship, or of the people that we helped off the Kandori?
I gotta be honest, Captain. I actually don't think the mind flayers had anything to do with this, though.
I don't either, but anything that would be like, I think we actually established it. You're right.
At the very least, I mean, we sent Toad back to check on the ship, but I mean, we gotta wait for them to get back. So
yeah,
unless the king will give us some time to go gather them, we're kind of stuck here.
Especially any evidence as well, because.
Well, actually, I mean, I can just Your Majesty, let's Vixie a step forward.
Yes.
We sent one of our crew members back to the ship to check for evidence on their own. Can we retrieve them, or do we have opportunity to do that during this hearing, or is that impossible?
You may, should you will it.
Oh, man. I mean, thank you, Your Majesty.
You must remain, you and your party and the accused must remain in this chamber. However, we can send a runner to fetch the individual discussed.
I'm gonna look at the captain. I think we want that, right?
I think so. Yes. We would love that, Your Majesty.
The name is Toad. You can't miss him. I'm gonna be honest.
Very well. God.
Made of wood and metal, not a cat, though. Usually.
Very well. God. Return to their ship and request the individual known as Toad. Yes, my king. And one of the guards fades off.
That sounds like the dope.
My king.
Yes, my king.
Okay. Toad, any actions you would like to do before you are retrieved by the guard and brought into this hearing?
Oh, I think Toad will leave the bag of holding. Who does Toad trust? With Effney.
Okay.
And then come back.
Okay. All right.
They'll also leave their staff because they remember no weapons.
That's correct. Okay. All right. You are brought in, relieved of any weapons or obvious magical items that could cause harm. So just indicates that on your character sheet.
Wait, does that bag of holding have the lock of hair that you found?
No, I imagine Toad's just bringing that with them.
Okay, cool. Cool. I was just making sure we actually had the evidence that that would. Okay.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay. All right, Toad, you have now joined the rest of your party in the chambers. There is a pending question whether you or the rest of your council would like to present any further evidence. Please.
Okay, so Toad will gather everyone up and just be like, okay. So here's what I found. I found a lock of hair in Gus's room. This black hair.
Oh.
And
Us?
I also maybe snuck off the ship to. Well, yes, Gus. Of course, it's not yours, unless you have like a girlfriend.
I do not.
Or something.
I do not.
I don't. I'm not going to judge you if you have a little romp now and then.
I am
perfectly natural, Gus.
Yeah.
I have a family back on Eberron.
Some people on Eberron participate in this thing called polyamory. I don't know if you.
Yeah, Gus.
That, but
I am familiar with the concept. However, I and my family do not personally subscribe to that sense of relationships. I have nothing against it. However, that is not who I am.
As a priest, I'm also regressive in my sexual politics, so I agree with you.
Well, yeah, that makes sense for you. Who knows what Gus is into? He's been acting kind of weird lately. Anyway, so
Effney be fucking.
Oh no.
And I saw on the Brayless ship a warforged who appeared to be damaged, being repaired. I'm happy to present the lock of hair, but I also we don't know who it belongs to.
Wait, that's...
What?
Okay. Toad, you were here, but I've been cooking, okay? I've been, I was pacing.
I cook.
Right. I've been flying, okay? I've been flying over here. It's been really cool. We got the corporal, long story short, it was awesome. You should have been there. I'm sad you weren't. But what I would say with the lock of hair, maybe, and I'm gonna, if you're okay with it, of course, I will ask the king to make you part of our council. So if at any point you want to interject and ask questions, you should. But maybe we actually bring up the Brayless. Maybe we bring up Captain Jabe, and we say, because the corporal had entered that they saw a shoulder that was metallic. Now Gus does wear Gus, are you scared you're gonna get shot in the shoulder? Like, why the hell do you have that? First of all, anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll talk about it later. We have a lot of things to talk about.
It has to do with this way he stands. He faces one shoulder forward while he's shooting, right? Yeah, come on.
Maybe
you don't use guns. You don't know these things.
Yeah. I'm learning.
Yet. Yeah.
Not yet. Okay, but maybe we bring up Captain Jabe. We say, did they see anything, right? Because they're a witness in some aspect. We start with that, and then we start leaning into, you have warforged that match a metallic shoulder description. Do you have any warforged that are injured? And the circle here, Toad, it's almost like a truth circle. So it'll help us. And then I think whenever we get to the part where we talk about what you saw, the warforged that was injured, we submit the black hair for evidence.
Do you think we'll get in trouble for me leaving the ship?
For you leaving the ship?
If we say that because I had to sneak off the ship past the guards. I don't think we were supposed to leave the ship.
Yeah. I was gonna say also maybe admitting to espionage not gonna be the best thing for Brailish on their relations.
Well, the hair was found on our ship, right?
Yes. I just don't.
We're not saying
that we should say that I saw a damaged warforged.
Horn. Yeah, we should ask Captain Jabba if they have any damaged warforged or any warforged that have been recently damaged, and the captain of the ship, if they are actually doing espionage, they should be at least somewhat aware, right? And that circle, whether they say yes or no, doesn't matter. As soon as we ask the question, we already have them.
Do you think they'll agree to step into the circle?
Well, I think, if they're a credible witness, the king here would have no reason to deny us the witness. And, of course, there might be some objections, but we'll have to, kind of, we'll have to lean on the fact that they are a witness as much as we are. And they were at the ship, and we'll have to get to the questions of, do they have any injured warforged on their ship quickly before we kind of fall too far away from the relevancy.
Here's my issues. This black hair. The problem is they don't know. How are they gonna? We know we found it, but they could just assume that we're making it all up, right?
They could, but then I think even maybe since Toad found it on our ship, maybe we put Toad on the stand.
Oh, the circle of truth.
The circle of truth.
Okay.
Well, in this case, it's a flame, but
I think well, does it hurt actually, Rick? You were in there. I was kind of close, so it didn't really burn.
It's toasty. It's pretty nice.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking, we don't need to lean on what answers we get anymore. I think with this, we need to lean on how the king will see probable cause. And I think if they say, yeah, we have injured warforged, yeah, they have metallic shoulders, and we can even ask about maybe their whereabouts, if Captain Jabba knew of their whereabouts. And whether they answer yes or no doesn't matter. We'll have the circle. And especially if we get a full lie, I think the king has no option other than to let Gus go.
Here's the thing. I think we can establish Gus being innocent here if we just put the idea that he was framed in their minds, and we can do that without accusing the Brailish and keep this information close to our chest. And I think we could do that if we just get Toad on the stands to present the lock of hair as evidence. And, since Gus obviously doesn't have black hair, that leads some credence to the idea that there was someone else in the cabin who had access to his weapons. And that can, at the very least, put enough doubt in the king's mind to, let Gus go free for now, at least.
Okay, so you're saying maybe we enter the lock of hair into evidence now and then question Toad about it?
Yeah, just have Toad go up on stage. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Toad may have to, answer as to where they found the lock of hair, but, perhaps they even have, seekers or casters among them who could chase down the source of, chase down the source of that long black strand.
That'd be nice. I for the record, I have black hair, so it's not gonna be super great. But I can testify that I didn't do it, so I suppose that would help. Anyway,
I think it's a little longer than your hair, anyway.
All right, fine.
How long is it? Like, if we were to pin it to any of our heads, like, would it fall to our shoulder?
I would say, back? Okay, so let's use Captain Jabba as an example, right? If you look at Captain Jabba, she has shorter hair in the back and then kind of long bangs on the side.
Yeah.
So if there was a hair that was plucked, it would be at the length of the longest pieces of hair that are falling past her chin.
Gotcha.
So it could fit her, and it could fit several other people in the general vicinity of this dock, to include some of your own crew. I would say that I don't think it fits the length of Rick or Val, because it is, yeah, it just doesn't have the length. Like, your hair doesn't have the length.
All right, though. So what do you think about getting in that little cozy fire and testifying that you found some hair in the Chief Gus's cabin?
Sure, I can do that. Yes. Okay, so we're presenting the hair. I'm gonna go stand in the circle and answer questions about finding the hair.
Yeah. All you gotta do is tell the truth.
Okay, I'm really good at that. I'm really bad at the other thing.
Okay, good.
Okay. Toad will approach.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, guys.
And,
I'm like cutting out. Sorry.
It's okay.
Give me a second.
Yeah, I was lagging. I think I'm good now. I was like lagging. Like I was talking and then I realized I disconnected basically. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
You sound good now. Yeah, you sound fine.
Yeah.
Well, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna go fill up my water bottle real quick.
Gotcha. You have to play a lot of
water
characters
break?
right now.
True.
Yeah, I'm just taking a 60-second water break.
Sorry, what happened in the last 30 seconds? I literally cut out. I couldn't hear anything.
We were just talking about. Chris said that the hair like is too long for us. For like me, you, or Altaik, I think, and then it is long enough for Jabe, but also it's long enough to fit a couple people on our crew. So it's not like a definitive like we can't just like get it down to one person just based on the length of it alone. And so we were gonna put Toad up on the stands just to enter the hair into evidence.
Right. Yeah. I think I think before Toad goes with there, another angle that I think we need to think about is it's important. I think that the angle that we have now is important. We put Toad on the stand. We talk about what they found, but I also think that we're fighting a war of information, and if we get Captain Jabe on the stand in any capacity,
I agree.
But the thing is, I think witnesses can just refuse not to go into the circle. They can just say like, "I'm not doing that."
That's true. Maybe we need to start with presenting the hair, Toad testifies, and then hopefully that's enough to like make Chief Gus look at least not guilty, and then we can continue to do information gathering.
okay.
Because it seems like they're gonna have a trial no matter what. It's just a question of are they gonna detain Gus?
Right. Well, yeah, if they are going to have Gus on trial as opposed to somebody else, right?
Mhm.
I think that's my biggest concern. I don't want to have Gus defend himself in an actual trial. If we can get him off here, it's I think all the better, right?
And then we can like, make accusations later when we have more evidence.
Right.
I mean, if it comes up naturally right now, then of course we just follow that. But
yeah, I don't think we ever make any accusations. I think we just only ask questions, and we maybe lead a little bit, but that's as far as we. In effort to save any type of relations that we have, at least between our countries, we shouldn't go in an all-out information war. But yeah, I think Toad goes up there.
But they definitely did it, so we're gonna get there eventually. we should wiggle our tokens while we're talking. Hey guys, it's me. It's me. Hey guys.
All right.
It's giving it's giving South Park.
South Park. Yes.
Yeah, the
Canadians.
in South Park. I love it. Okay.
All right, so they're probably gonna have someone question you as well, though. So get ready to get grilled.
Oh. Okay. Wish me luck.
All right. Anyway, get up there. Get up there,
All
champ.
Right. Hello, Your Majesty, and Toad bows. Really awkwardly. Hello, my name is Toad. I am the xenoarchaeologist and cook from the Dragonhawk. I do have something to submit into evidence. It's this lock of black hair
Dun,
that
dun.
that I found while I was investigating our ship. You may wonder why this is important. That's a great question. Thank you so much for asking. It's because I believe that Chief Gus is being framed.
Objection, Your Honor. Requesting witness testimony be brought in via the Circle of Fire.
Oh, Sure. I was gonna hand over the evidence first. That's all. Okay.
Protect it
it's
from the
warm
fire,
in
Toad.
here.
King turns to the commander. Defense seems to have being entered a witness testifying. Counsel, you will be questioning the witness on the stand in regards
correct.
to the evidence presented, correct?
Absolutely.
Commander. We'll see where this goes, Your Honor. Nothing to object to yet until further testimony is provoked from the witness. Understood. Defense, you may enter testimony via xenoarchaeologist Toad.
That's me. Yep.
Very well.
Okay.
Proceed.
I'll say all the things I said before again. Now that I'm in the toasty circle, I found this lock of hair because I thought that Gus may be getting framed, that we may be getting framed. And here's
Moses
Here it is.
dipped again.
Handle the truth.
Yeah, he couldn't take it.
He can't handle it.
I know it's a stressful, but you're gonna be okay, Moses. All right.
Help me.
You're cooking.
Continue.
Yeah, so I found this lock of hair in Chief Gus's quarters when I went to go investigate. And I think that this may prove that somebody stole from him.
Objection, Your Majesty. Speculation of the witness. I will sustain that for now. Archaeologist Toad. You are presenting your evidence as to your collections. However, unless directly requested to speculate, please continue to answer the questions of the council in this matter. I am uncertain whether or not you are entering as counsel or as strictly a witness, based on the nature of your camaraderie ship with your fellow shipmates. However, in this circle, you are as a witness. So, testimony must be prompted by the council requesting testimony from. Do you understand this process?
I do, and I think I am part of the council. Right, Rick? Right?
Yeah, you're like a council witness.
I'm a counsel and a witness, Your Majesty. And they bow again.
Understood. That is permitted within the rules of this court. Pardon. Hearing.
Okay,
You may
Rick,
proceed.
ask me questions.
Yeah, Toad, if that is your real name. Do you recall? Where did you find this? You were investigating Chief Gus's quarters for any evidence of what might have happened to the grenades that he had kept with him. Is that correct?
That's right. Yes.
Gotcha. And then you found this lock of hair. Where did you find it?
I found this in Chief Gus's quarters. When I was investigating his quarters earlier.
Understood. And to the best of your knowledge, Chief Gus does not dye his hair gray, correct?
I don't think so. I've never seen him do it. He's always had gray hair as long as I've known him.
Mm-hmm. I can attest to that as well. I'm not in the circle, but I think all of us can say Chief Gus has gray hair. He doesn't have black. So someone must have been in his cabin. Would that be a fair assumption to make?
That is my assumption. Yes.
Interesting. And if we put Chief Gus on the stand, I'm sure he'd tell you that he had no one in his cabin, but frankly, it's not quite relevant. What we're trying to establish here is the idea that someone else could have had access to Gus's grenades, not necessarily him. And given that the flame, and I'm assuming the flame never turned blue for any of what Toad is saying, correct?
Yeah, you're fine.
Given that our friend Toad here has said only truthful things, then this seems to have been established to this councilman's belief anyway.
Might I understand that you're using this testimony to enter into evidence this piece of hair, counsel?
I'm gonna look to Toad.
Yes, that's right.
Yep, we agree.
Prosecution, objections to the witness testimony or the evidence provided? Your Majesty, we're requesting permission to question the witness on this matter before making an objection to the entrance of testimony or the evidence physical in itself. Granted. Defense, please allow prosecution an opportunity to interview this witness.
Absolutely. I'm going to throw Toad a thumbs up. You got this.
Okay.
Commander Hawk steps up. Toad, correct?
That's right. That's me.
You said you found this piece of black hair in Chief Gus's quarters, yes?
Yes.
And how did you enter Chief Gus's quarters? Did you enter it through the door?
I did. I am an officer on the ship, and I have access.
Now, when you say you have access, does that mean that you were required to open the door with a set of keys?
Objection.
I don't know that we ever adjudicated that.
Yeah, I think he said that he left his door unlocked all the time. There are keys, but he said that he left his door unlocked.
Yeah,
yes,
he said that
you guys know
he has
that.
been leaving his door unlocked, but
Right.
I don't know if Toad went to go into Gus's quarters if the door was locked or not.
Does Toad say that?
No, I'm asking you, GM
Gotcha.
Chris. We never talked about that, I don't think.
No, and I would say that the door remained unlocked for this period of time due to, no one indicated to, I hate to be this, but like no one indicated to me that you guys locked and secured the room. So
100%.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I don't want to
right.
be like, gotcha, but I just think it's fair play.
I did not need to use keys. There were recently an inspection of the...
Sorry, objection for relevance here, Your Honor?
Your Majesty...
There is no relevance of how you get into our ship, and therefore these are Undare's secrets that should not be shared and are confidential.
Your Majesty, defense is attempting to speculate on the potentiality of this evidence being located in the accused room, simply going through the potential access and means of individuals in this room, considering that this is a question that defense has brought into this hearing, Your Honor. Defense? Counter-arguments?
Well,
it being in the, Toad providing their description of where this piece of evidence was found within the zone of truth makes the location self-evident. Detailing the security protocols, especially after an entire inspection simply took place, is either redundant or unnecessary beyond that point.
I can attempt to rephrase the question, Your Majesty. I will sustain the objection, Captain Valerian, and allow Commander Hulk to rephrase the question. Toad, when you retrieved the lock of hair, you could not be able to tell this court the exact time and date when that hair appeared in that room. Correct?
objection, speculation.
Okay, you gotta stop.
Sorry, I was like feeling myself like the objection.
You don't get points for every correct objection. Okay, it's not that's not how it works.
Overruled.
Just kidding, Your Majesty. JK.
JK.
Understanding that your national representative here is learning the process, I will overrule and waive the remand of conduct of officers of the court for this scenario. Xenoarchaeologist Toad, please answer Commander Hawk's question.
I don't know the exact date and time this lock of hair entered Chief Gus's quarters. I would imagine it was sometime between...
That'll be all. My next question... And he cuts you off. My next question is, you cannot definitively tell me whose hair that luck belongs to. Yes? Correct?
I have not had enough time to look at it and make that the determination yet. No.
That's fair. Lastly, you said you returned to the scene. Have you had an opportunity to review the evidence that has been brought into this court? If not, we can provide references.
The rest of my counsel got me all caught up.
Excellent. This hair was found on your ship inside the cabin of the accused and not found on the sabotage ship in question, correct?
That's correct.
Oh, we haven't
Nope.
conducted a objection. There was no inspection performed. We haven't completed, a combing of evidence for the site of the sabotage, or even for our own ship, except to search for a preliminary search matching ordnance to determine who may be a prime suspect.
Commander Hawk turns to the king. Your Majesty, I have no further questions on the matter. If defense wishes to re-engage their witness, they are welcome to do so.
Can I make an insight check on Captain Yabe? If they're reacting any particular way to the hair being presented?
You may. Go ahead.
Is she like touching her lock? Like, oh no.
Did it roll?
It did roll. I got it.
Okay. It's weird that I can't see that my own dice.
Yeah, I would hope that it would show you.
Weird.
Yeah, others can see it, right?
Yeah, it's a little question mark dice.
Everyone can see it except for the roller. That's kind of funny. Yes, it did roll correct. Captain Jabe seems amused at the line of questioning the Commander Hawk is kind of not giving you an opportunity to respond, but you did not detect any initial reaction to discussions of this lock of hair.
Hey, Toad, above the table, can Warforged have hair?
Oh,
That's interesting.
that's a really good. I guess it depends on your definition of hair.
Right. Is this
Inorganic?
polyester? Is this actual hair?
Yeah.
We need to do some science. Just a little thought. Okay, we got maybe relevant right now. We can go further
I think
on
we
that
need
later.
to do some science on this. I think we need to do some hair analysis.
CIA. We didn't set up a CIA lab real quick.
Fiber optic.
Above the table, I don't know if we're going to be able to if we're entering it into evidence.
Maybe they can have someone help us out with that.
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
The Forge Master is like, the spellcaster, druid, court wizard sort of thing, I think, right?
He is the
They
one
have
that
them
casts the circle of flame. Are you
This could be
attempting?
collaborative.
Is this something you guys want to do in here now, in this hearing, or is that something you want to try to do later if it comes up? We're kind of all talking
I
about the
think
table right
later, but
Okay.
I don't know about everyone else.
Yeah.
Right now, we're just trying to get the whole Gus situation squared away.
Yeah. Yep.
now. Defense, reattacks of the witness testimony.
I think the witness showed that they testified truthfully, and that this alone should put some doubt, at the very least, that Chief Gus is primarily responsible or should be the sole suspect of this sabotage.
Very well. No further questions for the witness. Toad, you may step off the flame. Thank you for your candor.
Of course. Yeah.
Great job,
Also,
Toad. Great job. Oh, you nailed it.
Really cool platform you guys have here with all the lava and stuff. It's really cool. Anyway.
It's getting hot in here, though. Oh my god.
Gosh, sweat. If I could sweat, I'd be sweating so much right now.
Okay. Defense. I am accepting the testimony of xenoarchaeologist Toad and the physical evidence D, the black lock of hair. Any further witness testimony or physical evidence you wish to submit to this hearing?
I got nothing.
Anything you'd like to say, Gus, before, Because otherwise, there's nothing else.
I think we should just hope for the best.
How do you think we did, Gus?
I think he seems to be reasonable. I'm hoping I can't expect that there won't still be a trial, but I don't know. I'm hopeful. I thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you to sleep in your own bed tonight.
Oh, that would be nice.
Maybe you can invite someone with black hair into your room. Sorry, I had to just razz you there for a second.
He looks at you with just like looks down at you like really. Okay. King Zundar has the hearing based on the fact that there's all evidence has been collected. He puts us all into a brief recess as he
recess.
He goes over the evidence and makes his determination of this preliminary hearing. So while he goes over his evidence, you have moments to chat and talk amongst yourselves. I also think this is a nice little spot to just take a quick in-game break. So we'll come back. Let's do 10 after the hour. Does that work for y'all?
Sounds good.
Okay, let me pause the session.
During recess, you guys want to play?
That makes my life so much easier. No more accidentally muting myself for the second half of the session. Pause button. Okay. The recording was still paused. I thought I pushed the pause button. We missed an hour. It is what it is. We missed 45 minutes. It is what it is.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah. Okay. So, Chief Gus, you are released of your own recognizance alongside your counsel. However, failure to remain on the planet for trial tomorrow morning will result in an immediate exiling of you and the Dragonhawk ship from any further communications or engagements with the Subat Foundry and its people. Do you understand this? He turns to you all. Then this hearing is adjourned. You are all dismissed.
All right. Well, half victory at least.
The Bravelish storm out. Back to the ship. First one's out.
Good riddance.
I want to put her in that circle so bad.
Lieutenant Cromwell stays behind to argue with Commander Hawk in a very spirited discussion, and his threats of filing an ineffective assistance of counsel complaint against him due to his lack of competency as his prosecuting representative in this case. And Commander Hawk is politely tolerating the discussions, but it's clear and apparent he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, we're not leaving the planet, so they got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I think, actually, since it's over, we needed permission to be able to even stay within the confines of the city, right? But we needed permission from the king, specifically. I think we get it, right?
What are you trying to say?
When we were asking about if we could stay, like, if we could go and shop and, like, stay at, like, any inns that they have, we were told by, I think, Commander Hawk that we needed permission from the king.
Yeah, so he has not restricted the liberty of Chief Gus and to the extent the council. So you may enter back into the city of your own fruition. Granted, you have to pay the port tax. But yes, right. The rules of your freedom is still the same. Your ship just can't leave port.
Okay.
You can't leave the Suat Foundry itself. Your restriction is to the Suat Foundry and the Suat city proper. You cannot leave the confines of the city, nor can you leave the planet, the moon.
Okay.
So it is at this point around lunchtime. You have a trial tomorrow morning, first thing.
Oh.
You also have some other things.
Make a case.
You have to make a case. And
Today,
it is expected that you may interview individuals in your capacity as counsel, to collect evidence.
will you deposition? Is it basically a deposition? Like we're using it as witness?
Depositions is collecting witness statements that wouldn't... Like, depositions are used... If you ask, depositions are used when an individual is not available to take the witness stand. You can enter in depositions, but it also... Like, you can collect statements and enter those in, but also you can call the witnesses directly if you know that they'd be willing to testify. If they're willing to make a statement, they're likely willing to testify. Like... Yeah, so depositions is basically in lieu of direct testimony.
Okay. Yeah, I think as we're walking out, I'll just kind of look at Gus like, Gus,
you're giving all your things.
Gus, you're very obviously innocent, but what the hell?
Yeah, I wish I knew.
No, Gus. This is a little bit more than that. You let someone not let them, but you did not take the necessary precautions. You didn't take the necessary steps to ensure no one had access to your weapons, your armory. You know, tighten it up. And I might have a solution that maybe we implement across the board. Maybe you would be on board with it. Basically, I can set a password for every individual person. Maybe we could set a overarching password or just a password per person. But we lock the doors by arcane means.
Cap, I'm more than willing to accommodate any security implications you wish to do so. I'd like to formally apologize for my lack of security on my own ammunition. Guess I just drew too much of my focus on others on the ship. I accept any reprimand that you wish to give.
I will say in my official capacity, I'm very disappointed, but of course we'll have to report maybe what happens or the overall outcome of what happens here in this planet. So that is a separate, that's from Ondair. Personally, yeah, kind of drop a little bit. I get it. It's been a bit hard. But you're the one that's...
My only request to you, Cap, is when you send your report, I'd like to supplement that report with my apology statement back to leadership.
Of course.
I accept full responsibility for my act.
Now, just to be clear again, Gus, I don't want you to feel bad about... You can feel bad in some capacity about the gift ship being blown up, but you didn't obviously do that part. But you had a small, but a role to play. And I think that'll be reflected in the report. But for now, I want you to go back and think about any person that you saw. Any person, whenever you were off the ship, that you interacted with, that saw you, that has any type of alibi for you.
Understood, Captain. Gives you a crisp military salute. Permission to be dismissed?
Of course.
He heads up. Shoulders. He's got a rigid posture that he kept up through that whole time, but his shoulders begin to slump as he passes past the guards.
Poor Gus.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks.
Should we? It's. I'm not the only one who thinks it's weird that Gus has been acting so haphazard, right? Like, should we be worried about him?
I agree. I think that if we're going to be treating this as adversarial, this is not a simple mistake. We believe that this is sabotage. You know, this may just be the beginning, and having our chief of security lose confidence in themselves would certainly be an effective way of getting through some of our defenses.
Especially if someone messed with his mind. Or what if it's not? I don't know. What if it's not Gus? I'll take. Do you have, or any one of you? You're all better magic users than I am. Anyone has any method of tracking where Gus goes right now?
No.
Oh.
I don't really want to spy on the guy, to be honest with you.
I don't want to spy on either, of course, but
Are you asking if
I don't know. Maybe I'm
actually...
just paranoid. But what if it's not Gus?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know what I mean. Maybe what if that person is not Gus?
Oh.
Because
I find that unlikely.
I do too, of course. But I don't know. Gus acting strange, doing these. I've never known Gus to be anything other than rigid, right? Careless is not a trait I would attribute to Gus ever.
Well,
leaving your door unlocked, and then not only that, the lockbox that contains highly explosive weapons unlocked.
Maybe we should have this conversation back on the ship.
also, Valerian, if you're volunteering to tail Gus, I mean, go right ahead. It's actually not the worst lead to follow. I mean, as far as like seeing what he's doing, who's interacting with him, stuff like that. At the very least, you could help him out as a person. I don't know about this whole fake Gus theory he got brewing around, but
yeah. I think that's not a bad idea. Let's just I don't think I'm the right person, perhaps, to keep an eye on him, but maybe I'll have someone like Jules or Roland, or maybe even Lila.
A doppelganger isn't implausible, but extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Jake, how about you push on Gus before he leaves? Yeah,
he loves Altaic.
Well, push your kind of mind magic.
Okay. There's like a beat of just like yeah, because we'll have to collect our equipment, but let's just use the sonic sorcery. Yeah. Yeah, Altaic will read the surface thoughts of Gus.
Okay. Yep. You need to, if you're doing it subtle again, because you're still within public view of everyone. Yeah. So surface thoughts is embarrassment and shame. That he didn't secure his equipment. He's trying to think of like who or what. He's growing very suspicious and paranoid of all of his crewmates and going through all of his interactions and conversations with all of the ship members. And he's hyper-fixating on individuals with black hair. And he's becoming doubtful of anything he's ever discussed with any of them. Um,
Yeah, I'll take. Well, at that point, like cut it there, and speak telepathically. It's like nothing. There's nothing to lead me to suspect a doppelganger.
Okay. Well, at least we know. And Larry kind of like half chuckle to himself and then keep walking.
Toad, we got to do some forensics on this hair.
Yeah, and then I think I also still need to go to that meeting later tonight.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Gosh, forgot all about that.
I didn't. It's like a fortress up here, Rick.
Oh,
They took points to their forehead.
a mind fortress, I see.
A mind fortress.
Well, I don't know. I'll try to figure something out. I don't know what I can do with this thing, but
Well, if we don't have the means, we can find someone. Perhaps.
Maybe I can spend some time examining it, see if I can get an idea of the race of individual this hair may come from.
that'd be a good place to start.
Is Tobrov still aboard? As a hunter, maybe his tracking skills might be able to assist us.
I thought.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
let's go back to the Dragonhawk.
back welcomes you back with us, with questions of the status of what happened.
It's look Avni, who is technically in charge.
Yep.
Everything good? No news?
No news. Gus just came by, told me to keep maintaining security while he works on his own thing. Seemed pretty shaky.
Yeah.
But I'm here. At least for a
What?
while until I sleep.
The good news is Gus is obviously out and about, ready to do anything that we are allowed to do. And as far as things that we're allowed to do is not change. Okay, so we'll still keep the same mentality. If we do go out, you go out in parties, and trios, whatever, pairs. But we do have a trial tomorrow. Which means we need anything that will help our case. So just anything looks suspicious, just say something.
Aye, aye, Cap. He gives you a little 2-finger salute.
Toad will try to examine the lock of hair.
Okay.
And see if they can determine like what race of creature it comes from. It's possible it's not even like a person's hair.
True.
I guess. So.
Sure. Okay. So let's start there. Let's make sure that we're determining that this is the hair of a humanoid race, right? And I think that can be done easily enough with a xenoarchaeology check. Using your research materials on board, I think, one xenoarchaeology check can give you that answer. That specific part of that answer. Determining the species, as in the broad spectrum species of humanoid versus some sort of monstrous creature or something of that nature.
Am I rolling that with advantage because I have the spell shards?
I will allow it, yes. How long does it, when you use the spell shards, is it a minute or is it an hour?
1 minute.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll allow it here. Just trying to keep track of time. It's about noon. So, okay. With a 16, you are confident that this is hair belonging to the class of humanoid, not hair of another subsection of creatures in the world.
Okay.
Can I take a look at it?
Of course. Yeah, here you go.
Rick would like to check on a more forensic level. Like, is there product in it? Is there like perfume on it? Is it like
Okay.
that kind of like more of a like, is there any distinguishing features on this piece on this lock of hair that would be like identifiable?
Okay.
Through observation.
You have to get really close, and
I assume we have looking glasses, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So
we could
I
find
mean,
one of those.
Alaric had a bunch of like tinker's tools and things of that nature, and you can probably borrow some magnifying glasses from Zephyr because he has jeweler's tools.
Mm-hmm.
You're not proficient in jeweler's tools, however, he can help set up the magnifying glasses.
What I'm specifically trying to do, like, is it oily? Is it dry? Is it been treated? Is it dyed? Is there a product? Is it perfume? Like, specific, like, physical aspects of it.
Okay.
If there's nothing distinguishing about it at all, that's fine.
That's fine. You are going to be able to get something depending on how well your skill at this and what you're able to identify with an untrained eye on this. Yeah. You are not a hair expert.
Not a hair man.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have an hair expert on board?
I would argue, what's her name? Where we just picked up?
Go back. Oh, not cyberspace map. Sorry. Drac.
Savina, right? Savina?
Could be a hair expert.
She could be. She's
There's
a scholar of culture.
There's an element of medicine to this as well. I know that sounds like a stretch. But in things like looking at the root of a hair, you can figure out things of like scurvy and stuff like that as well. I know that's just a random fact I pulled up, but you can like look at the roots of hairs to figure out someone's health as well.
Absolutely.
If the roots are still there, that would also be at least a little bit more in Rick's purview.
Yeah.
If not the cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, so I will allow you to. So what I'll do is I'll have you make a roll, and I'll have Stavina can assist to make a roll of like her expertise, and you can make a roll with your expertise.
Okay.
So let's do you first. Let's make that a medical roll.
And private or public?
Public is fine.
Okay.
Nice.
I'll take that.
Huge.
So, you are noticing the health and age of the hair to be of a younger humanoid or a like mid to young. It's a healthy piece of hair, as in it's not
frail.
It's not frail. It's not fraying. You're not getting any senses of disease off of it. What else? There's
it's a sexy piece of hair.
It is a vibrant piece of hair, and you do not sense any. With your medical expertise, I'll give you that there likely doesn't appear to be any chemical dyes. I'll give you that under medicine. Gotcha. Because you understand hair follicles in a medical sense and how dyes affect skin and hair and things of that nature. Okay. For Savina, nobody runs Savina. Let's have Toad. Can you give me what's your investigation bonus?
I've got a +1.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll, and I'll add +2 more and we'll call that Savina's roll. Okay. So 22. That's good. So, Savina knows a lot of hair products. Specific to Therendor, however, products themselves, are one in themselves. There's a lot of different ones, but they're all kind of like based on, oil-based or like water-based or something of that nature. Interesting.
Yeah, I might be putting you on the spot with this one. You have to
No,
imagine
no.
what this character did. Yeah.
No.
What kind of shampoo do they use, Chris?
No,
What's
I
it
mean, it
smell
would
like?
make sense that Savina would have a general understanding of,
The
what
makeup of
products
that
are
stuff, yeah.
used. Yeah, I mean, that is something that she is inherently in that world in. And so she would be able to identify. Give me a second to think about this.
I'll say this: what I'm looking for is is the kind of the hair this is the kind of person that this hair belongs to. If this is like a very well treated, like there's definitely product in it kind, that tells me it's a different kind of person than someone who is like, oh, this person doesn't really care. It's a healthy, like that comes from a healthy person, but they're not like washing their hair every day or anything like that.
And that, I will give you that. It is clear and apparent between you and her's observations that this is well-maintained hair, clean hair, and there is the product that is put in the hair is used for vibrancy. And at least on Therendor, this was used for individuals who cared a great deal about the quality of their hair. This is a more above average care routine for this lock of hair. Also, because Savina understands like chemically straightening hair versus naturally curly hair, Savina can rule out Signy as one of the holders of this hair.
That's
and she can also rule out Elena because she knows Elena doesn't have the budget. So that leaves you Jules Marland and Captain Iojab.
What about Belladonna? Are they?
Belladonna is a part of. Yeah, I'm sorry. Belladonna is. I keep on forgetting about Belladonna, but Belladonna would be in the same boat as Elena, as they both take good care of their hair, but they're not using this higher end product. So Belladonna, Elena, and Signy are out of who you would reasonably believe this lock of hair belongs to.
Okay, so it's Jave and say the other two.
Jave and Jules Marlin. Jules.
Ooh.
Do you think we could, Sabina, do you think if we brought products to you, you could determine if the products that we bring to you are the ones that were used in the hair?
She could. Given enough time, she could. Because she has a good understanding of the type of product that is here. But if they're two similar brands of the same kind of style, she wouldn't be able to identify. But she could easily distinguish a hair care brand that would make sense for this versus a lower quality.
Should we ask Jules for her product?
I hate to be subterfuge about this. Maybe we should just be like, hey, for the investigation, we need to look at what you're putting in your hair. This is kind of a weird thing, but
we can even look at their hair now too. Yeah.
Okay. So
it sucks to suspect one of our crew, though. I was really hoping this would get everybody out of it.
Well, that's what we're trying to do, right? Is rule out Jules.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we frame it as a procedure so we don't hurt morale.
Plus, maybe Jules is just trying to, visit old Gus in the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying?
And I could talk to Jules. We had a good conversation earlier.
I'll come with you, but I'll stand outside the door. How about that?
Okay. Good, just in case something bad goes wrong.
I don't know what you mean, but hopefully nothing does.
Toad will go find Jules.
Okay.
Hey, Jules.
Hey, Toad. What's up?
Hey. I have to ask you a weird question.
Okay.
Which is, I'd like to see your hair products.
Okay. Yeah. What? I mean, does Savina need it? Like, what's up?
We're just trying to investigate something, and it might
Oh, I
involve
thought
some hair
Savina just
products.
like needed shampoo. Okay, yeah. Is this for the trial thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Here you go. And she hands you over a bottle of hair product. That's what I use every day. I hope it helps with whatever is needed.
Is your hair really nice? Is it pretty?
Yeah, her hair is pretty.
This must be working. Your hair is beautiful, Jules.
I wash it twice a day. I don't want to lose it.
Does it not dry out your scalp?
No, because I counteract it with the conditioner that I use.
Oh.
Yeah,
And she,
Toad.
here you go. And she hands you the conditioner as well.
Are these the only 2 products that you use in your hair?
Yes.
Thank you, Jules. I really appreciate you.
Of course. Happy to help. I hope this helps.
I'll bring them back to you.
Okay. I would appreciate that. Thank you.
And then I'll give them to Savina. And Savina, do these products look like the products that were used in the lock of hair?
Well, I would say they're a touch lower quality than I would expect of hair of this nature. So I don't think that these are what's on this hair piece. No.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Prince Rick, we gotta pay people better. Or good hair care products.
Can I retcon something real quick? After Toad leaves with the product, I think Rick would also like to ask Jules some questions.
Okay, yeah, sure.
It's not gonna be anything major.
Sure.
Rick's just gonna be like, "Hey Jules, following up on Toad's investigation, I just wanted to ask you how your relationship with Gus is."
I mean, he works hard. I mean, he's very serious all the time. He could definitely lighten up. I mean, I've tried to ask him to, like, go into town or, get out when we get shore leave, but, you know how he is.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, he's hard on himself too.
he is. He's a sweet man, and he takes his job very seriously, and I respect him for that.
Have you noticed anything strange about him lately?
No, I mean, I'm gonna say that Roland's not in here, so it's just the 2 of y'all.
Yeah.
Because I assumed that you would have wanted some privacy on this. Just like, no, I mean, he's definitely been way more on edge since the whole Altic thing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, besides that, I mean, when I talk to him, I mean, he seems like he's calmed down from that. And, I mean, whenever we talk, I just try to help him, look at it like he should. Like, you guys obviously want Altic to be a bigger part, and I support that. And
Yeah, Altaic's a little
we've
weird,
spent a
he's-
long enough time that I don't think he needs to be paranoid around Altic or that's my thoughts on it. I feel bad for both of them. They're both dealing with a lot.
One more question. This is gonna be a weird one. Any reason at all that have you ever gone into his room?
No, I wouldn't mess with his
Okay.
stuff. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I know he's I don't. No, we don't talk like that.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I'm just making sure. There's gotta be due diligence here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna inside check that. By the
Yeah.
way.
Roll me an insight check.
There you go.
Please be
Seems to
good.
be, seems to be telling the truth.
All right. Thank you for your cooperation, Jules. We're trying to get this whole situation done with, so
Of
appreciate
course.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in-
Back up to the other
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, you walk into Toad catching up and getting the final details from the beat.
Okay. I think we need to gather back up. I think it's good that we have ruled people out, but I still have so many questions.
So it seems like it's not Jules to me, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
And so that leaves Jabe, but maybe there's something we're missing here. Let's not jump to conclusions.
Well, yeah. How would Jabe have gotten on the ship?
And I also question, like, why Jabe would, if they're trying to steal grenades, why would they do it? Why wouldn't they send someone else? That doesn't seem like Jabe's style.
How would they know that Gus had grenades under his bed?
Yeah, it's all a little weird, isn't it?
Do you think we still have, like, a mole?
Ooh, a rat.
A rat, if you will?
Well, you know, maybe we should give this ship a big comb over. Is there any places people could be hiding on this ship? Stowaways and such?
I guess we could give it a top to bottom search.
Yeah, you guys.
I want to get together actually with the with Armos, the shipwright. I want to ask him, like, are there any places people could be like hiding, like any way to access like the interior of the hull, things like that?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
so there
if
are.
you just want to say, like, if I'm just pursuing a red herring and it's gonna waste time, you can also just say that.
Yeah, I mean, there are compartments in which someone could hide in very cramped and very difficult scenarios. Those compartments are more so for the Chewinga. So there are, like, small compartments throughout the ship that, like, in an emergency, if someone really needed to hide, they could, like, I think any of the smaller humanoids on the ship would find it possible to hide in these compartments. But no medium-sized humanoid could hide in any, like, secret compartments on the ship.
Can we ask the Chewinga if they saw who went into Gus's room? Is there a way I could talk to the Chewinga union representative? Or is the Chewinga, are they not even, like, they're not even paying attention?
The Chewinga typically only report to the Fey Touched. Are you Fey Touched? I'm trying to remember.
I'm not.
Okay.
Is Val Fey Touched?
Val is Fey
Touched. I am Fey Touched.
I guess you're our representative for our side of the union.
Yeah, I have the I have this, like, piece of wood as well that's I have a pretty good connection. Actually, they gave me a little bit of extra strength that I've been holding on to for a little while, but yeah, if we need to see if they've seen anything, I think that's actually a great idea.
And you can call them without using the Chewinga charm, by the by. It just is a matter of, I mean, they're Fey creatures with loyalty to the ship, but they don't always feel like coming out and talking to you. So it's a matter
they're their
of
own little guys.
Yeah, they're their own little folks. But yeah, so what do you guys do?
Well, we could at least try to see if they'll speak to us. Go to one of these, like, little compartments, and then we can try to talk to them.
Okay. All right. You summon one of the Chewingas, whose name you know as Tonk, Tonk.
Tonk.
Which I will call your union representative.
Gotcha.
Tonk.
Tonk and Spork, those are great names.
Chewingas have a unique naming.
Hold on, I have to write down the union representative name. Thank you.
Leave it to Eugene. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
you cut out.
Moses.
Need your help.
You cut out for just a second. Can you repeat that?
Did you see anybody come to our ship with?
Okay. You're asking if anybody they saw anybody come to their ship. Did I get that right?
I saw anybody on the ship and then leave with grenades.
Okay. Make a persuasion check. Because this is a boring game. So they don't have a language that you understand.
Right.
But you are able to feel emotional, like you're able to communicate via like emotional interpretations of either body language or like the nature of the way that the words are said, but you don't understand the language. And to date, nobody, the xenoarchaeologist debate is it is a offshoot of Sylvan, but it is like a very strange, like Southern dialect to the nth degree, or like Appalachian accent version of Sylvan. So it's
I get every other word.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you that. You are able to glean that, yes, somebody did leave the ship. Like, somebody did leave the ship with the grenades.
Are they being sneaky? They're not one of us, right?
They're not like us? They're not like us?
They're not like us?
And now my YouTube video will be taken down. Did I ever tell you guys that my videos are restricted in like 2 countries in the world?
Wait, what?
Yeah, because some of the music I play, my videos are restricted. Like they're blocked in Russia.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Our Russian fans.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know, right? So you asked if it was one of ours that left the ship?
Mm-hmm. With the
Yeah.
grenades.
Oh, with the grenades. Roll me another charisma check. Because they say lots of people left the ship yesterday. They don't remember. I mean, yeah, Gus left with the ship with grenades. But they don't know of anybody else that left the ship with grenades.
Tell Rick what I heard. Yeah, well, I mean, we know someone left the ship. You know, that wasn't us with grenades, right? They had to have. And they saw someone by Gus's room.
but they don't know who? Or they wouldn't say?
I don't think they do. Yeah, I'll turn back. I'll ask them who.
Wait. I got an idea.
Okay.
Rick is gonna go find some pencil and paper. Is that okay?
Sure.
Don't you carry a notebook around with you?
Yeah, you carry
My
the
notebook. My handy dandy notebook. That's
Your
true.
Polly Pocket notepad.
Yeah, it's got pink flowers on it. I'm gonna flip it open. I'm gonna draw a picture of myself as best as I can. Do I have to make a
Okay.
roll for that?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a performance check.
Okay.
A sleight of hand.
The performance. It's a very
Excellent.
bad picture of me.
Excellent stick figure.
Yes. I'm gonna point at myself. I'm gonna point at the picture. I'm gonna be like, Val, try to tell them to draw a picture of the person they saw leaving.
Oh.
Because that's probably more fun for them than trying to talk to you.
Yeah. I think they would actually love that.
I'll rip off a piece of paper and hand it to Val.
Yeah, make me that persuasion check with advantage. Because it seems much more fun.
Ooh.
Okay.
Nice.
Tom
I'll lend him my pencil if they need it, but he seems pretty small. I don't know if he can use this thing.
Tom proceeds to draw like 30 people.
Yeah.
And you quickly realize that he's drawing all the people that left the ship yesterday when you went into, because half the crew went into town.
Yeah.
It's true.
And he's taking lots of time to draw inappropriate things onto certain individuals. But they're all stick figures, so you can't tell who Tonk is identifying. Nice. Yeah. And he's talking the whole time as he's like gesturing to one of them and like talking and like starting laughing. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Think thing 1 and thing 2. That's what you're dealing with right now.
Yeah. And so I can't even like recognize any of the people on this paper.
Based on the egregious descriptions and like like the horns of Ethne and like things like that, like you're able to parcel together that like these are the crewmates that left that you already knew by checking the log. Like these are everyone that left the ship yesterday.
Is there anyone that we don't recognize on there?
Or anyone that
No.
maybe is like by themselves? Since everyone else left in pairs?
Ooh.
We did say, yeah, they did. There was like a little bit of a.
There had been one person that would have left by themselves, and it would have been our culprit.
Yeah. You attempt to communicate which one left by themselves. Make me a. You can make me one more persuasion check. This one's flat, and I'd like it to be blind.
Ooh. Okay. Persuasion check. Blind. Blind GM roll. Oh, I could see that. That doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Roll more.
I could.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Wait, why can I see that still?
It's okay.
Weird.
It's
So
okay.
click on the thing and
okay.
click blind
I'll
GM.
it's fine. It's fine. I'll attempt. Tonk draws a female, as indicated by two large circles on the middle of the stick figure.
I see. Huh. Well,
Any other details of the stick figure?
No, because Tonk is not a great drawer. This is like a
Hmm.
children's drawing of stick
Yeah.
figures.
well, tell him thanks. Appreciate the help. Interesting.
I just watched Cat in the Hat. I'm sorry. My kid likes it now. The like real life one with the creepy
that
Cat in
one's
the Hat
fucking
that
weird,
scars
dude.
children.
Yeah,
My
that's a
kid,
good one.
Arthur loves it. Arthur loves it.
Well, I guess we have a suspect here.
We do. We have two pieces of, albeit loose information, but two pieces, well, evidence really. But I really
Please
think
put the twing on the stand.
I
Just
think
put
it
Tonk
is.
up there.
So, signs point to Jave right now, but that's weird, right? Like we agree,
It's
that's
weird,
strange.
It's like, it is strange because it's strange, but it also could be not, right? Because if Jave is
Oh,
filthy, hello?
But yeah, sorry,
cut out for a
you
second.
cut out.
You're
for-
back
I think
now.
we got you. I think we got you.
Okay.
Said.
Yeah, if Java is the most stealthy, then it would make sense based on their crew, unless we know one of the others to be their dedicated kind of sneaky. But yeah, it is weird.
It's just I don't think Jave would do a dirty job on her own. She would send someone else, right?
I think so.
And
Also-
again, how would she know where to
Yeah.
find the grenades?
And how did no one
Yeah.
see her sneaking on and sneaking off? I mean, the Chwingas apparently saw someone, but wouldn't even know if this is related. It's a lot of details we can't really put together right now.
Yeah, I mean, we did it to them, right? We got on their ship.
That's true.
And
We did have a
undetected.
specific infiltrator person do it. To be
And-
fair, but
Yeah.
Mind you, half of your crew was off your ship. So it was minimal
true.
manning.
At night, when everyone was sleeping?
No, but there was a window of time where half of your crew was not on board the ship.
we were sending people out.
Because
I'm
you
sure.
didn't look for the hair until after everything was said and done. You still don't know when that hair landed in that room.
Hmm.
That's right. So we don't have like a specific timetable of when this happened. I mean, it had to have happened obviously before the explosion, I
Right.
imagine. Especially since we can't really tie this to anyone on the ship. I doubt this is like an old hair that's been left behind or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
You know,
what does this have to do with the Warforged that are in the captain's office and on the Braylon
Yeah,
ship?
that's
I mean, it's all confusing.
yeah. Well, the silver shoulder that the corporal saw as well. Like, what does that even mean in this context, right?
I think that one of the Warforged who's hurt, I think that they're the one who put the grenades, however many they used, in the cannon.
Ah.
That would make sense. If they were caught in the explosion as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Interesting.
that means someone else gathered the grenades themselves. This wasn't the same person.
I also don't know where that other grenade came from that they found on our ship.
Oh, that's a good point. Because we tried to secure all of them.
Mm-hmm.
We did, yeah.
We should talk to the auto gnomes and ask them if anybody gave them that. I mean, we did. Didn't we talk to the auto gnomes? Didn't they say they found it?
Well, it was Wrench, one of the three, that found it. And we haven't talked to them since they did the inspection.
Maybe we should get a little witness statement from them.
Well, maybe even tonight when they all show up to the meeting would be even a better time to, maybe informal, to get them to admit something.
They don't seem like they're very good liars, I gotta be honest.
It's true.
They seem to like me a lot, so maybe I can convince them to tell us something.
We got ins.
I also, Valerian, I think you might win the bet.
Wait, what was the bet?
That Altaic and I made, that you weighed in, but you didn't actually put any money down because you're cheap.
Loser.
Was it the arm wrestling? I lost arm wrestling, right?
No,
I bet against myself.
It's literally it's posted in character chat.
You said that you think that Lockett was trying to defect.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Shoot, you might be right. It's a good thing you didn't put any money down, so me and Altaic don't have to lose anything.
Well, because I'm a prophet. I think I said this before. It would just be unfair.
Wow, prophet. Oh, Captain.
Well,
I'm just saying I did call from, when we were on the Revelrous Demons, that we weren't really being attacked. It was part of the show. I called that. That was basically day one, And
are you
pretty much have a good track record here.
Grateful of all of us. Or you're a prophet. You know what? You're right.
Yeah,
you know what? Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning towards. And it would be, while I couldn't put money down materially now at this point, currently, I am correct. And if we do get Lockett on our team, imagine the information, but just the optics of the Brailish. Now, these are all secondary because, of course, if Lockett wants to join our team based on their position and their relationship with Brayland and how they're treated, then I think that's primary, but maybe even secondary or maybe even tertiary. The optics are horrible for Brayland. Aaron would love this, and we'll have any information that we'll need.
Carrying on the legacy of hatred.
Do I have your permission to try to, convert Lockett to our side?
I would beg that you do that.
Is that just because you want to win?
No, because I want them to truly, and I mean this genuinely, I think that the way Brailish treat their Warforged and their, the people that aren't made of flesh, they treat them like tools, and it is disgusting to see. I think that we need to not just liberate Lockett, but take each and every one of them or maybe even they need to, I don't know, but absolutely I want to see Lockett have a better place.
I think that Forged are mistreated everywhere.
Yeah, it's just about you seeing them as tools. Seeing things that we've created that have souls, thoughts, beliefs, dreams, wants, needs, and using them as tools. And it's bullshit,
Disgusting.
I think.
I agree.
And I think that's specifically why we take Lockett under our wing and absolutely humiliate the Brailish to show that this isn't, that they need to change in some capacity.
Well, that's if Lockett even wants to do that, though.
Right.
I also
Well, I
got
trust
some
you,
notes
Ted.
to interview.
That's right, yeah.
Really, our best
bet
bet at this point.
How do we approach this? Actually, this is a good question, because if this is a meeting that Blockett is facilitating with just the Outer Gnomes and other Warforged, how do we, or do we, even try to help interject, affect, or manage that situation? Or do we just let Toad do your thing?
Maybe it should just be me that goes. I haven't spent a lot of time around other Warforged. Before I met up with you and with Aaron, I spent a lot of time alone. But if they're being mistreated, they may not trust people like you. But I'm one of them, and they may trust me.
Yeah. I agree with that completely.
Makes sense.
However, I don't trust the Brailish to not have some type of harm or ill will towards you. So I think if nothing else, we'll be in the area, and you'll call for us if you need help, in whatever capacity that is. But I think we should at least be within distance.
I agree. I think that's a good plan. Maybe I'll go first and just listen and see what it is that Lockett is talking about, and maybe I can find some time alone with them to try to convince them to join us. And also I'll try to talk to Wrench and see if he knows anything about, or if they know anything about the grenade that they found.
Perfect.
Maybe we should also try to smooth things over with the captain of the gift ship, huh?
Yeah.
Seemed to really not like Mr. the Apocalypse. I want to kind of figure out what that's all about.
What the drama is there, but yeah, I'm actually just surprised. I really was hoping, even with talking about us being, mercenary conscriptions, that they would, since they're basically the plaintiff, that they would just drop it towards us. But yeah, I would love to, at least, if nothing else, build a rapport with them, because I loved being a part of the Gith, at least start the Apocalypse.
Yeah, I just kind of want to know what the deal with the little drama between them is.
Yeah.
Also, because, we got to maybe try to convince them we didn't do this.
Right.
Okay.
I'll take. You got any leads, any ideas?
Well, I'm just a little concerned that the Autognomes were not so circumspect of who they told, and maybe we're not the only ones to have interests in this meeting. So, we should definitely be within arm's reach and keep an eye out for for anything we might find unusual. Because I just have this hunch, not so much like a prophet's vision, but
It's a gift.
that trouble will brew at the potato.
I share that. I do, and I think that's why any business that we have in the meantime, we should have wrapped up before this meeting. I do have a suspicion as well of Fildir. How on earth how on Eberron did this fire giant not remember? I was standing on the bar. I mean, we were doing like
arm wrestling. I mean,
Right. We were loud, I think. Making deals. There's no way. And, I even thought maybe this is, kind of going a little ahead of myself, but I even thought maybe we do tribal combat. I say that to say, I wonder what the giants value. And if maybe there's some way that I could, in some, feat of strength, maybe I can even well, I can't drink lava, but
remember who your plaintiff is. The trial by combat would be between the accused and the plaintiff.
True.
Which would be Chief Gus and the lieutenant.
I think Gus could take him, but we don't want to risk that.
Yeah.
You would also understand that killing of a GIF lieutenant would be reported back to the GIF Armada.
Yeah, there's maybe some other things to consider.
Yeah.
We have sending stone. Oh, go ahead.
Should we ask for our money back?
Or docking?
No, for our little extra ship. That we wanted them to install. I mean, I don't want him to think we're guilty, but I feel really nervous that they're gonna just steal our money.
I'm gonna say that you put down. Oh, I have this up somewhere. You put down a bit on the initial. I think I have it over here. The Juniper. I have it as a text file. So you ordered the ballista. So you paid 1,000 gold for the ballista. You purchased the ballista that would be added to the Juniper. So you are already in the whole 1,000 gold.
So we didn't give them money for the arcane helm.
No, because that. Yeah. So your total was 9,150 gold. You have only given them 1,000 so far. I'm gonna say you gave them 1,500 because the 500 gold was the deposit to begin work on the rest of it. So yeah, you gave them 1,500. You didn't give them the full little bit over 9K. And that work is on hold pending the results of the trial because, hey, you might be exiled or some other nature of that degree. But yeah, that's where you're at right now. And you have the Hadozi wooden hull on the way to you that'll be here in 8 days. Or, yeah, 8 days. 9 days? Yeah, because we're only on day 2.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Since it's only 1,500, we don't have to worry about asking for the money back.
I think we'll win. I think, as long as Gus isn't hiding anything, I think we'll win. I do really want to implement a system of arcane locks. This is... I was even thinking a system of having something on the ship that's almost like a thing that you have to step through that would dispel any type of magic on you. But that's a little bit in the future, I think.
Yeah, a magic lock, like an airlock.
Yeah.
You could create certain... I mean, if you talk about that with Rowan, I mean, you could make certain rooms safe of, like, no magical items, but if you do that to the entire ship, that would disable the magical enchantments on, like, armaments and, magical weapons of that nature. Like, if you made the captain's... Like, you couldn't do it to the captain's hold. Or, the arbiter's room, because, that chair needs that. Basically, you can make certain rooms dead zones. But it'd have to be... Roland would recommend smaller areas if you wanted to do that, because, there's certain things that if they lose their magical enchantment, they'd have to be re-enchanted. And that would take... Maybe a project. That's a pretty big project. So.
Right, yeah.
Basically an anti-magic field in a room. Which is possible, but it would take Rowan quite some time. But arcane locks can be done if you wanted to do that. I think
over the course of like our next travel or our next kind of lull, I'm gonna go through and lock every door.
You could task Roland to do that in a 10-day Bastion turn. There would be some costs associated with it, but Roland could do that.
I think for us though, we all got a little bit of some leads. Let's go out, see what we can find. You guys all ready to go out to the greater port here?
You know, Jules and Roland mentioned some alchemy shops. If we have time, I'd love to go explore those.
I mean, I'd say it's probably you guys are probably taking about 2 hours, talking through and doing all this stuff. So it's only about 2 o'clock. And the meeting is at like midnight, so.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, okay, cool.
The
I don't
meeting
have
with
to go
the
shopping.
Warforged and the Autumn. So if you'd like to go shopping, you have plenty of time to do so.
I would like to buy some herbs.
Okay. Do that first then. So the environment we are in is volcanic. So if you look at the biome table, using your boundless, abundant, common, rare pricing chart, which you should still have that we've discussed.
Yep.
Those are if you wish to seek the alchemists, which you can find, after asking for some directions. Those are the available reagents for purchase.
Okay. Can we do this as like a post-session thing? I'll look at it and figure out what I want to buy.
Yeah, just make a note and just remember to message me through the week. It's totally fine.
Okay. Cool.
New potions.
More reagents. Ingredients.
Ingredients.
Okay. What else do you guys want to do? There are things for sale. This is a pretty industrial city.
I think apart from our investigations, I want to find a shield.
Okay. Let me pull my item chart. Are you looking for a Monday shield or a mundane shield or something?
A Tuesday
more...
shield.
I thought you said Monday.
I know. I think I might have said Monday. Yeah. You looking for a mundane shield or some sort of enchanted shield?
I am looking. Yeah, for an enchanted shield, I think.
Okay.
A cool shield.
Cool.
So I'm gonna say that in this area, when you're looking at my item charts, for weapons and armaments, you can get up to tier 3. However, word of the sabotage has made many customers or many traders wary of you. You kind of stick out, so you are limited to level 2 tier items, but you see being sold tier 3 items of the armaments, armor, and shield.
Okay, I think I'll look at the item chart a little bit. I'll let you know too, but
and you can sort that, by the way, if you want to look at
I saw it's like a Excel doc basically.
Yeah, you can sort it by type, and there's a shield type in the valuable magical items section. Cool. While you're doing that, Rick and Altea.
I can't think of anything I want to shop. I'm more interested in going to the gift ship. So whenever everyone's ready to do that.
We can put a pin in that. Come back to that shortly. Altea.
Yeah, shopping seems great.
Yeah. So, in general, you're able to find everything up to tier 2, weapons and items of war. You see up to tier 3, but they are not selling up to tier 3. Where you're looking. Messaging devices.
Eugene.
Sorry, I'm going through all the
Yeah.
items. It's gonna take me a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries.
Yeah,
I was
it's
making
all
sure you
good.
didn't like mute yourself accidentally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys want, we can do the interaction with the gift real quick.
Yeah,
And then
we
we can
can
wrap
do
it
that
up
first.
We can,
Yeah, I
and
think
we can,
so, yeah.
We can wrap it up for the night, or if you guys want to,
Yeah.
we can. Do I
I'm
have
happy
it in
to
me?
do the-
Yeah, I think I had a pretty early morning, so let's do the GIF, and let's put a pin in tonight. Understanding that some of you are going to go shopping, and then we can do the midnight meeting at the beginning of the session.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go to the GIF.
So yeah, you guys go to the GIF after your shopping. Fast forward in time a little bit.
We're all
I'm
just
gonna
holding a bunch
say-
of bags. Is that what's going on?
What's that?
We're all just like have like bags around our arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get back to the mall.
Thank you for shopping.
Yeah, you pay your port tax, which is for all of you. I think it's a total of like 3 gold for the port tax. So want to pay that, or take it out of the ship funds as a business expenditure.
How much is it? Sorry?
3 gold.
3 gold? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you attempt to approach the gift wreckage and cordon, security cordon, correct?
Yes, as like a
Okay.
peaceful, outwardly presenting as peaceful as
Yeah.
possible.
Okay.
Who all is everyone here?
Your party is here, yeah.
Okay.
So the 4 of you were there as you approach. And it's at about 4 or 5 in the afternoon at this point, getting towards dinner time. You are immediately blocked by the guards. Ooh. Ooh.
He's back.
Sorry about that.
No worries. So you are immediately blocked by the guards. The gift guards carrying their firearms. In which they say, "No entry by order of 2nd Lieutenant Alphaeus Cromwell, 343rd Patrol Brigade." And you can hear the lieutenant shouting at Corporal Finlinson and his underlings next to him.
What's he shouting about?
The incompetence of his privates and the blatant disrespect of Corporal Finlinson, and the fact that he can have him demoted due to his testimony provided, which is borderline, in his mind, fully insubordination towards a commissioned officer of the GIF Armada.
I see. I'm just gonna speak to the guard. Hey, we're just here on a for diplomatic purposes. We'd like to talk to the captain about the events that have happened here.
By order of Lieutenant Cromwell, all individuals from your ship have been barred entry into the cordon. Is that them? Tell them to piss off! They've already caused us enough trouble! Go on,
Hey, look,
get...
we just want to clear that up. Actually, we didn't do it. We want to talk. Can you tell him that? I don't know.
No, we won't be seeing him! You can talk a trial where you face justice for your actions! You saboteurs! He's like shouting at you from like 30 feet
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. And look at everybody else. You got ideas?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't think we want to invite them to the potatoes. No, not like this. All right.
All right.
So I cut out for a second. They're just refusing us to be able to talk to
The lieutenant.
captain?
Yeah, the lieutenant is telling you to piss off. He's pissed at you, and he says, "I'll see you in court." Anything you guys want to do in this scene?
What does their ship look like right now?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the bombard cannon is a heaping wreck aboard their ship, and there's a gigantic hole in the frame of the middle of the ship. So about right here, there's a massive hole about, I'm gonna say like 3 by 3 wide. It's centralizing on this spot right here.
Mhm.
So their ship is badly damaged, and it's clear that their main armament is not usable.
Does the explosion look like it blew the cannon from the inside, like someone, like it was sabotaged from within, or like from an angle?
Yeah, so from where you're standing, you can get a pretty good look at it. It looks like the interior, like, it looks like this little piece right here, let me tag it, this little piece right here, exploded outward as if the explosion was from inside the barrel of the cannon. Like, you ever seen the cartoon, like, Shotgun, where Bugs Bunny puts a finger in it, and it's, like, warped backwards?
Yeah.
It looks like that.
Does it look like it's strategical, so like a strategically placed explosion to render it like harder to repair than it would be like hitting it anywhere else? Or does it
Maybe?
look like it was just random to put it there?
Maybe. I mean, you're not necessarily an expert on magical cannons or firearms yet. But I mean, it certainly did a lot of damage to the cannon.
I love that you said yet.
I'll take. Yeah, he wants to essentially get a figure of like, did someone? We know that the Warforged were hurt in the explosion, but that may have just been unlucky shrapnel. But like, were they close, or did they like throw the grenades in? In the other Gith ship that we saw, was the far end of the barrel open?
Yes. So the way it's set up, and you kind of got glances at that ship. Basically, think of like a tank cannon, or it basically like it's not muzzle loaded. Like, it doesn't get loaded in from the front that juts out from the ship. It looks like the ammunition is inserted in the bottom of it. Obviously, this one's blown up, but you'd know enough in your viewing of the other one. It looks like ammunition was loaded in from this side, and then the firing mechanism was nearby, like somewhere around this part, and then the round left this bottom part and shot out the other end.
Gotcha.
So it looks like all the loading and firing mechanisms are near the eastern side of the cannon from the angle you're looking at it. And that's clear and apparent because underneath the gun, there's not any places to stand. It looks like all the areas of access are right around it.
Feels like you'd be out in the open if you wanted to load the gun with grenades. What do you think, Captain? If you were on the other side of the ship and you wanted to throw some grenades inside the barrel, do you think you need to be that lucky to get 2-3 grenades in there?
Well,
I only asked you.
You could just like throw it in from the. You say
yeah.
like.
I asked this because if we want to get evidence and we can't get aboard the ship, if they threw it inside the barrel, maybe we could get to the other side of the dock and see if there's some evidence there. Like if they were on the far side of the barrel of the gun, maybe we don't need to be on the ship to look for clues.
That's a good point. Though that does contradict the testimony of seeing someone in shiny armor on the ship.
Yeah, they saw a glimpse of metal coming from a humanoid as if wearing armor.
Mhm.
That was the assumption that
They're
metal.
Suppose we could due diligence, right?
Let's see, what's my investigation like? Yeah, I'll take, wanting to respect the security perimeter. Could he check, to see if there are, if there's other debris out there, or maybe like pieces of something he might be able to identify as like a warforged part, flying on the far side of the dock.
On the far side, indicate where you're talking about.
If I do shift.
Okay.
Like
go by where
around
Rick
these
is.
parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Rick, are you participating in this venture?
Detective Rick will follow up with I'll take.
Okay. All right. So you're looking specifically for
Constable,
like
I'll take.
pieces of Warforged?
Yeah, or like perhaps, yeah. Pieces of Warforged.
Hey, Toad, what do you bleed?
Like a sappy, oily mixture.
Okay. Let's look for that.
Sappy, oily mixture. Okay. All right. Go ahead and give me.
Don't mind us, boys. We're just looking for sappy, oily mixtures over here.
You can both roll, or you can. Yeah, I mean, I'll say either one of you can roll with advantage, or you can roll separately.
This is
investigation.
I'm just helping Altaik out. This is Altaik's thing.
I'll allow it. Yeah. You're using kind of your.
That's the first, second. Oh wow, 15 is that's very funny, very consistent.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right. So with a 21, you do
21.
see 21. You do see a it's almost like blood trails, but it's not blood trails, right?
Mm.
You find a patch of that sappy, oily refuge in the metal. I'd say, as you're looking around in the area, kind of right next to where Rick is standing. So right about here.
Ooh.
Again. And it trickles about here, just past Rick, but then it stops.
How would it? Huh? How'd it go? Is there something up? Or is like a panel loose? Perhaps in this dock? Like maybe they didn't just leave running out. Maybe there's some way out of here I can't think of.
Well, hold on. Could they have like jumped off the back of the ship onto these barrels right here?
So they get hit, and then they go onto the ship? Interesting.
Oh, I was thinking they actually did go on the ship and they escaped this way.
Oh, okay.
I know your theory is that they must have thrown it in from this side, but they could have like gotten up on here first, right?
Yeah, from that angle, you could, without a roll required, you could deduce that someone could climb up on those barrels, climb up on the crane, like climb up on the lower part of the crane, not the part that's above the ship, but like on the lower part, and use that as a jump. Like they could climb a barrel here, walk below the crane assembly to over here, and jump onto the ship. That's a reasonable deduction of access.
They were complaining about how dark it gets at night as well. I mean, this would be a much sneakier way to get on the ship versus just trying to get up on it through the main entrance. I mean, if you still think they might have thrown it from here, that's possible, I
No.
suppose.
No, this seems feasible, but I'm trying to figure out, you know, I recognize this, unfortunately, and we know that they're wounded. And so, if they were fleeing because now they're wounded from the explosion, how do they get this to stop? Maybe they heal themselves
Oh.
and simply flee, or they
have an accomplice, someone to give them like something to staunch the bleeding. Did they teleport? If they could teleport, why did they need to do all this in the first place?
Oh, there's so much.
Hold on, wait. You could Misty Step, right?
Yes.
How far does that go?
30 feet. 60 feet? Let me
If it's 60 feet, that's just too much ground for us to cover, unfortunately.
30 feet.
Alright, 30 feet towards where? Maybe
So,
we
like I
should...
said, one splatter here, one
Yeah.
splatter like right here, or right here. So like moving in a northwesty direction.
This just feels like a long shot, but I guess me and if I'll tell you what's joining, I'm gonna take a little. They're gonna go the circumference basically of that 30-foot area and see if there's any blood splatters that could show up in that place.
I'll take will help, and like one, he'll scan like the opposite way to like cover more ground and like like maybe
twice as
peer
fast.
down.
Yeah. Both of you give me investigation.
Okay. Are those public or private?
Public is fine.
Wow.
I'm
Very
satisfied.
consistent.
In the areas that you're searching, you do not. Neither of you find. Actually, where were you searching, Rick? You were searching like 30 feet north of this area.
Yeah, sort of in the north.
Okay. No, you do not find blood splatters or Warforged sap remnants in that space. Neither.
It could have been more powerful with teleportation magic, if that's what it was. Maybe we're barking up the wrong tree. I do want to get up. Can you just? Is there any way I can? I'm gonna look around. How much attention is being paid to us right now by the dock workers?
Well, for starters, all the crew that are nearby right here are not here because they're currently not working on the
okay,
cannon.
Good. Gotcha.
I should have clarified that. There is a fire giant handling to the remains of the autonomes up over here. These, this fire giant is handling to those. But all these worker individuals are not here. So I'm hiding those ones to better reflect.
Gotcha.
That's the scene at hand here.
Anyone like looking at us from the gift ship right now, or do they have any view of us?
The guards right here are keeping an eye on you. These two,
Okay.
But I mean, you can block their line of sight. I mean, the barrels block your line of sight. So if you draw a line to where the barrels are, they can't see you on the other side of the barrels.
Okay.
And the crane does offer some line of sight blockage as well, specifically the square area, not the crane above.
Right.
So.
Hey, can you boost me up? I want to try to take a look at the top of the barrels here, see if there's any footsteps or anything up here.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
How tall are the barrels?
The barrels are about 10 feet up. They're big barrels.
Okay, that just about works out.
Actually, it would be larger than that. It would be... I'm going to say they're... I'm going to say they're about 15, 20 feet up.
Okay, I'm like 4'5" now since I got that height extension. I can't remember. If I'll take puts his arms all the way up, how tall can he boost me up?
With a strength check, you could just maybe get your fingies on the top of the barrels.
All I'm trying to do is peek my head over so I can check if there's any debris, any blood or anything up there.
I'll need a athletics check to hoist Rick up.
Okay, here we go.
I'll give you my inspiration.
I got my inspiration.
Okay.
All right.
I forgot you're a nerd. Damn it.
I'm not as strong as...
You barely get your
finger.
You get your fingies up there, and you're like dangling, holding on. You lift yourself up.
I'll try to. Was that strength?
Give me that. Yeah, athletics check.
Okay, athletics. I can do athletics. I will spend a
Yeah, it's not gonna get you
inspiration. Inspiration on that one. I got an extra one, and then that's crazy. One more time. One more time.
Okey-doke.
I'm really struggling here. It's my third attempt. Oh, you're choking.
Still a fail. Are you rolling with it?
Yeah, I can't get up there.
Your fingers, your fingers are dangling, and you can remain dangling, but you are not able to pull yourself up because it's not good leverage. Your fingers can't grip all the way around the metal exterior to get a solid grip.
Yeah.
So you're pulling up on smooth metal. So you haven't made much noise yet, but if you kept trying, you might fall and make a lot of ruckus.
I'll take catch me.
What? What? What?
I gotta let go. I can't pull myself up.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Yeah, give me a strength saving throw. I'll take. You catch him.
Great.
I'll give it to you. You catch him.
My hero. All right. Well, that was
so
fun.
much bigger.
I don't want to risk getting caught by anybody trying to accuse us of spying or anything. I do want to speak with the dead on one of those autognome corpses, though.
Okay.
Maybe we can. I don't know. We're like the prime suspects. Are they even gonna let us up there?
I mean, I'm sure they've handled the corpses of the autognome workers.
Maybe let's bring Toad in with this as well.
Want to speak to some dead? I can do that.
I also have it.
Let's
But I
speak
kind of
with
want
the
to see
dead.
like if we could put our heads together and find out what questions to ask.
So you approach.
And how do we access this little place?
Yeah, so it's a stand. You can step up onto the metal here.
Gotcha.
It's like a 5 foot. Like this platform is above the other parts of the platform. So you can step up and speak to the giant here, who seems to be generally inspecting the bodies of the autognomes. And it seems like he has like he's like writing down something on a log, on some sort of log, seeming to do some reports on the status of the autognomes.
I'm gonna hop up onto the platform.
Okay.
Hello, good sir.
What do you want?
Hi, I'm Rick Jarasco of the Dragonhawk ship. The beauty right over there, and I'll point at the Dragonhawk.
The one that killed these autognomes?
Nope, trying to prove our innocence, in fact. I'd like to, in fact, your help with that. Myself and my partner here, Toad, we can speak with the dead. I'm a cleric. They're a druid. And we'd like to ask some questions of our poor deceased friends over here.
You'd have to get permission to do that. I talked to Commander Hawk or Duke Delta. I'm not authorized to. I don't think I can let you do that. You can ask them for permission. If they give you something in writing, I don't got no problem.
Cool.
Is Eltake with us here?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I was I mean, you're in charge here, right?
I'm in charge of the gnomes, taking them back to see if anything can be done for them. Not sure if they can. Pretty new. I don't know anything about it.
Well, if you're in charge, then if you're in charge, I mean, you can let us talk to some corpses, right?
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Yeah, it's a little morbid. Okay. That's not bad for disadvantage.
Not bad.
not gonna be enough.
You know, port taxes are kind of low in my opinion.
Oh.
The city could use some more reimbursement for all the good we do for these fine folks just trying to make a living.
I agree, and it's so dangerous around here too.
Yeah, it really is. Exploding cannons and all.
Yeah. I mean, how much do you think taxes should go up, in your opinion?
Oh, I'd say about 20 gold
Look at
per
Toad.
person.
Okay. Well, thank you. Want to step down off the platform real quick?
Yeah, this is like, yeah. There's a moment. It's like, oh, 20 gold. It's like, 20 gold per person. You know, this could. God, how would I want to finagle this?
Are you pushing this? Are you pushing this bribe attempt? Let's hear it.
God. Yeah. I'm trying. How many autonomes are there? Out of curiosity, do we get a sense?
There's 5 right there.
Oh, okay. Oh God, putting a value on this part seems so morbid.
Yeah, it's pretty grim.
I'm sorry. The implication is per person, as in the 3 of you.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, not per autonome.
Not per gnome corpse inspected.
Yeah.
We can.
That's why I said maybe you should step down so we can make this cheaper. But if you want to join us, you can
that's what. Okay, I thought you meant step down as in join you guys. Yeah, no, okay, yeah. I'll take. Doesn't need to be.
Yeah, if you want to be, you definitely can. But you're paying out of your own pocket.
I am out. I got cleaned out. So.
I got plenty.
Too rich for my blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take steps back.
Do you have the money, Toad? I have the money.
I do, even though I just spent some. 20 gold each.
I've got 20. If you want to cover yourself.
Toad's gonna give him 30 gold.
Whoa. I'm gonna give him exactly 20.
I have a sudden urge to take my lunch break.
That's okay.
I guess I'll be back in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And he
All right, Toad, let's get this shit
saunters
done.
off.
Yeah.
Right.
This is okay. So this feels slimy. We gotta get this shit done quick.
Let's.
Mouth.
Okay, can we table this?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's table this without Val here.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. We're getting a little.
We're at a good pausing point. We'll see what this comes of. We'll see what this. We'll see what you're able to get out of these autonomes as you bribe the giant.
I forgot we could do that. We could just bribe people.
Some people are bribable. Yeah,
That's the thing that people do in D&D.
Absolutely. So okay, this is a fun session. Yeah, we will pick this up next week. We're still good, right?
Yeah. I just can't do the week after.
Okay. All right. I guess. Well, I mean, since Val isn't here, we can't really have the conversation. So we'll just do it in Discord, or we can talk about it next week. But like I've said before, if someone wants to coordinate that, or if we need to get those little calendar things back out, do you guys want me to pull out the little calendar highlight thing again?
Sure.
Okay. I'll whip one. I mean, they're really easy to throw together. So I'll make one with my availability, and I'll post that either this weekend or next weekend to try to figure out the end of May if we have any time. And I'll throw on the weekend, on the odd chance that only the weekend works, but I prefer weekdays. But if it's one weekend in a blue moon, Sasha's not gonna rip my head off. So, but okay. All right. I'm gonna end the recording here.